Hello everybody, I'm Zenith. Welcome back to Zen Streams, where I stream one of the various different games in my collection, and today we are going to continue with Kingdom Hearts RE Chain of Memories. We are about a third of the way done with Rebirth, which is very, very short, so I figure we can spend today finishing that up. But first of all, you may notice in my screen that a new theme has been added to extras. That's because in my free time, I have watched the Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days movie that is included with this collection. Now, I will not be streaming the 358 over 2 days movie because I intend to actually play the game emulated on the stream, but I wanted to experience the movie again on this collection, see how it is, and it turned out to be really nice. Like the movie version is a little bit rough around the edges, but what they did for it is actually really, really well handled, and I think it's a fairly good adaptation of the game, and the story is what really matters anyway. So that's what I really enjoyed personally is the story of 358 over 2 days, and so that was really, really good. So we have unlocked a new theme. We have unlocked the 358 over 2 days theme. If I looked, so yeah. So the first one, completing Kingdom Hearts 1, completing Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, the main campaign, and then completing 358 over 2 days. I'm not going to change my theme because I have a Final Fantasy IX one on display that I really enjoy. Yeah, so that's what I did in my free time. I've also been playing Kingdom Hearts 2 in my free time on PS3. And yeah, the drive form load wait is a little bit long, but overall it's still a fantastic game, and I'm looking forward to streaming it in the future. But for today's stream, we're going to be playing some more Rebirth, and finish up Riku's campaign. Not quite sure where everyone is today, but hopefully people will drop in, and as we go along. I guess people are a little bit busy today. I don't know. People are not usually that busy on Saturdays, but that's how the cookie crumbles. So we will continue on as we normally do. If I remember correctly, we completed 3 floors last time, which, with Riku's campaign, it is pretty damn easy to get through floor after floor, and there's only a couple floors that usually give me a little bit of trouble with Riku's campaign, but as long as we grind a little bit, I think we should be fine. Okay, we're gonna load. Riku, level 14. Yeah, we're on floor 10. Riku's campaign goes from the bottom to the top, so you start at floor 13 and work your way up. So there's only 10 floors left. We just finished Traverse Town. Let's see. Oh, okay. Where did we go? Okay, so we already beat that boss, so I was going the right way. I might as well do a little bit of grinding while I'm here. So yeah, playing through Kingdom Hearts 2 on my own, I have noticed just how much an improvement it is over not just the first game, but just compared to Chain of Memories. Chain of Memories as a game just does not work. And while I do feel that Kingdom Hearts 2 takes a little while to open up, from that point onwards, it is a lot of fun. And I usually have a ton of fun just playing through the normal campaign of Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, not even the extras, because I've never played Final Mix before, but like there's a lot that they added to Final Mix There's puzzle pieces that I've been collecting, so you can actually form a full puzzle, and there's all this other stuff, like there's missions and hidden bosses, and there's a ton of stuff that they added to Final Mix that I'm only experiencing for the first time now, and I'm intrigued to see where they go from here, because again, I've only seen a little bit. But the overall gameplay is very, very good. You have like a lot of flippy anime, attacking and whatnot. Like it's just a fun game to play. And while it does take a little bit to get everything, like once you get the drive forms and once you start like leveling up in the game, like the abilities that you get are just flat out insane. The stuff that you can do in that game is just it's a lot of fun. It's one of those things where it gradually rewards you every step of the way, and in general it's just so insanely engaging on a visceral level. I haven't seen too many games that really pull off the same level of progression, where you kind of start off with a lot of the skills that you used to have, but not quite. I do kind of wish they didn't take away the spells that you used to have, but a lot of the normal attacks and stuff you start off with, and as you get new abilities for Kingdom Hearts 2, it really feels like you're progressing in a big way. It feels like you grow as a character, especially because by where am I at now? Okay, I just finished the first stage of Atlantica. So by Pirates of the Caribbean, you feel like a badass because you have drive forms, which the more you level those up, the more abilities that you get for other things, because you can upgrade your high jump, you can upgrade quite a few of your techniques here and there, and I've been leveling up Valor and Wisdom form. Valor has always been one of my favorites, simply because dual-wielding Keyblades is awesome. But Wisdom is cool too because it's very fast and it decimates opponents. If you level that form up, you just start dominating. Alright, so the downside of Riku's campaign is that a lot of these floors kind of feel empty, especially because there's not a lot of bosses in between worlds. I think there's a lot near the end, but the start is you just climbing floors, and it definitely feels like a boss rush. Granted, I find that his gameplay is so much better, so I'm not really complaining in that regard, but still. Let's see. Yeah, so far I've put in 2 hours in Riku's campaign, which, I mean, compared to 25 hours in Sora's campaign, 26 hours to complete his. Like, let's see, wheels. What was your general strat when leveling Sora in this game? Chain of Memory is the only one I never fished. I would first try to find a world that I was comfortable with. You need to find a world that really suits you, your playstyle. Destiny Islands is a good world to level up in. The enemies aren't too bad, and it's just fun to grind in it. And then as you go, just level up your defense, and then go to the higher worlds. It takes a long time, but you eventually get to it. Vexen with his riddles. He belongs to neither the light nor the dark, but walks the twilight between. The foreshadowing of what nobodies are in the game.
Between the light and the darkness, it appears we have much in common.
Maybe. Like you said, there really is darkness left inside of me. But so what?
Darkness is my enemy. I will destroy the darkness.
Oh, so it's a fight you want. Very good. I shall take
Now,
you on.
Vexen is the hardest boss in Sora's
Your
campaign,
ideas are intriguing to
but
me,
he's
and I wish
much
to subscribe to your
easier.
newsletter.
Oh, thank you for the follow, Wheels. Yeah, Vexen is much harder in Sora's campaign simply because of the mechanics, but here he's so much easier because you can do a lot of stuff on the fly, and a lot of the dual mode in this game is simply easier to pull off. Granted, I might have to. Never mind. I don't have to do anything. I just have to. I think I'm gonna have to level up my darkness points a little bit, so I might have to do some grinding with him. Yeah, he's not really that hard a boss. It's just that when you don't have your darkness points leveled up, he can easily take you out of darkness mode, and you kind of need to be in darkness mode for a lot of this stuff to work. Because, like, Dark Firaga takes so much of his health. And Dark Break. Like, a lot of these dark techniques that you get decimate opponents, and so that's where you'll find a lot of your big attacks. And Dark Aura is it's rare that you can pull it off, but when you can, it's satisfying. And I'm just hanging on by a thread. I feel like I might need to just grind for better darkness points or health at this point, because there's no way I can get better cards in this. So I'll just go back and grind a little bit. Alright, so let's go back. And Traverse Town isn't the best world to level up in for Riku. I feel like... let's see. I feel like the best world to level up in from the start of the game is Hollow Bastion, because it offers you better cards for Riku because they're randomized. That way you can destroy things a lot easier. So I'm going to go down to B12. And we are going to do some grinding. The other good thing about Riku's campaign is that he doesn't have any elemental keyblades, which in Sora's campaign, if you have elemental keyblades equipped during this portion of the game, it restricts you because you end up healing the enemies, which is not a good thing. Here, it's honestly not that bad. Now, if you level up your darkness points, like you can see I started off with 12, you enter darkness mode with 12 points, and if you take damage and your card breaks, that means you get taken out of darkness mode, which is, you know, you need that for bosses. So the more I upgrade my darkness meter, the better. I think I need at least 15 to 30 before I take on Vexen. Health is important, but I already level up my health a lot. I feel like the thing that I need to focus on right now is attack points, which is self-explanatory. That's where you upgrade your attack power, and darkness points. And darkness points is something that I think you should stress. Like, a little bit of health in the beginning for the first 3 worlds, but for the bosses of Riku's campaign, you need darkness points, and you need to have enough darkness points so that you can carry out the slights that he has at his disposal, because otherwise you're not doing any damage. Okay, now, he levels up pretty fast early on in the game. Like, these enemies give you pretty decent experience points. I think I'm pretty close to level 15. but I'm gonna double check when I finish this battle. But even still, you level up really fast as Riku because you're not spending as much time grinding, and they didn't want to have you like blow through the game and have a low level. Let's see. Yeah, I'm level 15 now. I think 20 would be a good place to be. So we're gonna grind a little bit, and then we're gonna get to level 20.
Okay, I'm finally here.
Hey, Itchy! I was wondering where everybody was. I'm pretty sure like everybody's out somewhere. I know last week everyone was like at Thanksgiving.
Well, today I just had an awesome nap during the day.
Same. I was planning on sleeping a little bit longer, but then I woke up and I was like, I'm not super tired. I should probably stream because I want to get this done. We are this close to finishing Chain of Memories. Well, the main campaign of Chain of Memories. We'll get to the 100% later.
I know we're at the better part of the game, but once Chain of Memories is over, it's all going to be smooth sailing from here, right?
Yes. From my experience, this is the worst game that I've played in the series. I'm playing through 2 right now, and 2 is a great game on a lot of levels. And yeah, there are problems, and we'll get to them, but it's just enjoyable on a lot of levels. It's one of those games that I can keep coming back to. This one has... It's like... It has potential. It has good ideas, but it doesn't execute them properly, and I feel like if given enough time... If given enough... if given enough polish, this game could have been really good, but I feel like the story is what they focus the most on.
You still think the card elements, the gameplay with that could be saved?
It's hard to say because I love Riku's gameplay, but it still has the main problem of the cards are randomized. Mm-hmm. So in short bursts, yeah, it's fun. It is certainly an enjoyable game to play from that standpoint, but it just neither of these campaigns balance well as a card game, and I kind of feel like that's part of the card game formula. In order to do that the right way, in order to get the card game formula to work, you would have to have the enemies have a set amount of decks, and I feel like you would have to have your decks level up automatically. Even still, I feel like that goes against the central strategy of card games in general. I don't know. It's one of those things that, as a concept, it's so strange. I don't know. Have you ever played like a Yu-Gi-Oh card game, video game?
Yeah, I've played the one on mobile devices. I think it's Dual Destinies.
Dual Links, you mean, or
yeah, Dual Links. That's it.
Okay. I don't know
that for a little bit.
I don't know how it handles stuff. Obviously, like isn't that like a gacha?
Yeah, it is a gacha game. You have to buy your own packs, or they'll give you like daily rewards, and you can fight PvP battles with your friends and stuff.
So I mean that seems balanced, kind of like Treasure Cruise and other gacha games, where it's less about the card game and more about the leveling up, the constant getting better gear.
That's definitely what I enjoyed playing it, like starting out, so that I kept leveling up, they kept getting a lot of good cards, but still I had like, even at the beginning I had just basic monster cards, and nothing really special to use in battles, so I just played like at the beginner circle a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. And that, yeah, I can understand that. For me, I feel like gacha games are structured a lot the same, but like the meta aspects of them changes. The small changes, like, okay, how much does this do? How much can you do with this? Like, I really liked Food Fantasy for a while, simply because it was a better structured game. It's still one of those daily grind type things, and after a while I start to lose interest in those.
Also, in the Yu-Gi-Oh game, that's kind of the drawback is there's so many different cards, like magic cards and trap cards and certain combinations that are for certain monster types, and you never really get the cards that help you out. A lot of the buying of cards, it's based on like newer packs. And I feel like I'm not really familiar with a lot of the newer cards that are out now.
Especially the link system, because me and Dr. Crafty don't really enjoy the link system. It kind of breaks the game in a lot of ways. But that's kind of the new standard, unfortunately. So it's like, okay, you gotta kind of go with the flow and try to use link summons, and link summons are kind of a flawed concept in a lot of ways. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I feel like you could make a good card game, video game. What you really need, I think, though, before anything else, is you need to not make an RPG, because I think that clashes with what the card game is all designed around. I feel like if you're going to make a good one, if you're going to make a good card game, it has to be where the cards are set in stone and it's all about strategy and getting better booster packs, which, that's pretty much a standard card game. Or you need to have a way to get an edge on your opponent without constantly scrambling for cards. That's always been my hang-up.
And I think that's what Hearthstone is about. Again, I'm not really that big into card games. I only got into Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I watched the anime a lot. But I think Hearthstone is a little bit like that. And I haven't really watched or played any Hearthstone.
I've heard about it. A lot of people are into it.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly if the progression is the same as what you're saying it should be.
Yeah, it's hard to really say. Like, a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, I remember having a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game that I rented a while back. I don't even remember how it played. That's just, like, the only immediate card game available to me is this right here. And apparently card games are really big in Japan. Like, Hanafuda is really big, and, but a lot of those are too luck-based to really entice me. But Japan really loves gambling, so, I mean, with gacha and other things, that's
I know a card game you'll be into, some strip poker.
Oh, hey, Nick, what's going on?
Yeah, doing alright. I mean, I didn't speak up because you guys are having a conversation about card games.
But by the way, I tried to message you earlier. I started adding like VIP roles and stuff to the chat because I unlocked those.
I have 2 Twitches. Like, I've got Unbox Live, I've got Enigma Extreme. So I want to add both. Just be careful.
Okay.
This is for the this is mods for your Twitch chat.
Well,
wait, do you really need mods for your Twitch chat?
Let me finish. I wasn't gonna say that. Okay. This wasn't about mods because I've already added mods. I have VIP badges, and that allows you to chat without like slow chat options.
Oh, all right. I'm
yeah.
not very familiar with Twitch's inner workings, to be honest.
That's why I was trying to explain it, and you kept interrupting. But yeah, so essentially what it happens, like, after a while, since I have a community of regularly joining people, they gave me not only mod badges, but like specialized badges, and the more people I get chatting, the more badges I can give away, and the better it is. So, we are now, we are now at about 105 followers, which means that we're, we're slowly building up the follower pool and the chat pool, which means we're going to unlock more badges soon. So I wanted to give VIP badges to the people who are more regulars, you know, around here. I've already updated Itchy's. Itchy's is good. So we can probably go from there. Anyway,
did you get my message earlier this week about the Game Awards?
I did. This week has been. This has been a week.
Trust me, from what I can see, you've probably just wanted to fall asleep, just sleep like days.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I had a 13-hour workday today because I need the money. So I worked 45 hours this week, and that that extra 5 hours is time and a half that I need, so I can pay off extra bills. But the middle of this week, my chest was acting up so bad. Normally, it only pains me every so often, but during work, it felt like my chest was in a vice, where essentially I could barely breathe, and it was like clamping down. So I was having trouble getting through the work days the past couple of days. It's better today. It's a lot better today, but I really need to get that chest surgery. Which it's scheduled. It's happening. I have a CAT scan the 5th. In addition to a few other things, so it's gonna go forth. It just I really hope it's sooner rather than later.
Oh, I'm sure that would be great. You're bringing up card games. You know the card games based off TV shows like Yu-Gi-Oh and such. I wonder, could they make a Magic the Gathering TV show, or would that be way too complicated?
Here's the thing. While Magic the Gathering is by far the most popular card game out there, I'm not sure who would watch that, because from what I understand of its players, they're more into the card game aspect of it. They're not as into I don't even know if there's like too much lore about Magic, because like it's a card game with magic and all this other stuff, but it doesn't focus on lore. You could maybe introduce something like that, but Magic the Gathering is essentially World of Warcraft without the lore. It is a card game that is high fantasy, but it's structured primarily from a card game standpoint. It is a card game at its core. That's how it's built. And I used to play it a lot. Don't anymore, because booster packs cost way too much. But I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic when I was a kid, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic were like a large portion of my youth, until I realized how much it cost. And then I was like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna spend money on video games.
What's that joke? Teach your kids how to play Magic, they'll never have money for drugs.
You know that they're not wrong. They're not wrong.
I was actually asking on Twitter or on the Discord chat, how has Nintendo not made a Hanafuda game?
I saw that, and the thing is,
is it because it's associated with gambling or the Yakuza? Is it just its origins?
You could say a few different things. First of all, I think that Hanafuda is a game that is culturally very much Japanese. I mean, you saw it. Have you seen Summer Wars at all?
No, but may I just interject? So is Pachinko, and they've made a Pachinko game, or somebody made one for the Famicom.
Yeah, but that was a while back, and
they even made a new controller for it.
I mean, Pachinko is huge in Japan, and that's like,
oh yeah,
it's like I don't think it would work in the States, and I think what they're maybe trying to think of right now is global markets. I would hope.
Oh yeah.
I would hope. But speaking specifically from my standpoint, Hanafuda is hard to follow if you don't know the rules. It's not like something you can simply pick up and play. Like, Summer Wars ends with a Hanafuda battle, and it is glorious. It's a lot of fun to watch. But you don't know what's going on. You don't understand, like, unless you understand the inner workings of Hanafuda, you will be lost. I don't know what Koi Koi means, but it's like watching Duel Masters for the first time and wondering the hell is Todome Da.
Like, I don't know if any of you have seen this, but there was this comic on Tumblr a while back. What if Uno was an anime?
Oh god.
An Uno anime. You think you've beaten me, but I've got this Wild 4 card!
Wild Force. But that's essentially it. I feel like Hanafuda is way too culturally Japanese, and even if they were to make it specifically for Japan, it's so hard to understand. Pachinko one can easily understand. It's gambling.
Yeah. It's balls. Lots and lots of balls.
Balls.
But I know Nintendo has made limited edition Hanafuda packs on Club Nintendo. I mean, that's another thing entirely. That's basically just...
That's different because they used to make Hanafuda cards, and I feel like them just making them...
That's why I'm wondering why I don't make a video game. That going back to their origins. You know, they're always willing to go and make all these, references to their past. Why don't go do a reference to all the way back?
Again, I really do think a lot of it has to do with...
Because Hanafuda is just such an old game, I feel like it's not gonna
play it.
Gel a lot with the
Hey, Rosen.
modern standards.
Welcome.
Well, the same people who would probably buy the Hanafuda cards made by Nintendo for Club Nintendo.
Again, that's Club Nintendo fans. It's not like a big market of people.
Are there people who still really into Club Nintendo? Like, I know Nintendo has a lot of fans.
Guys who bought those Hanafuda cards are not even gonna play with them. They just have them for collectors.
Club Nintendo is over. I think there's something else now. Like it's Nintendo stuff.
It's my Nintendo, but it's just digital rewards they give out for.
No, it's my Nintendo.
I'm a fan of Nintendo, but I feel like you have to be a diehard subscriber for a lot of their stuff. Because I used to have those Nintendo coins and stuff, and that just went away after a while. And it's just like, unless you're a dedicated Nintendo supporter, a lot of the stuff that they do is just it just starts and then stops with no in between. They abandon a lot of their concepts really easily.
Yeah, like they add these extension ports into their consoles and then never use them because, we had this idea but it didn't pan out. We tried making this Vitality sensor, that didn't work. We're going to do this expansion port. The development took too long.
Vitality sense.
Yeah, I remember that. That was intriguing.
The Wii was a dark time for me because I was really big into Nintendo and Zelda, and then the Wii happened, and that there was not a lot for me that generation.
Well, I don't know if you watched my video on the Spyro growing up with that. The Wii was actually where I got back in. See, I got a GameCube, and unfortunately, GameCube support in my country was abysmal. Most stores, some stores in my town weren't even stocking GameCube. They had big shelves of PS2 and Xbox, but no cube. So I pretty much was like, alright, I made the wrong choice with the console. Alright, well, at least I got this brand new Spyro game, Enter the Dragonfly, and then...
See,
I can't...
yeah.
I went the opposite way. I started with Nintendo, but the problem is, early Nintendo and Super Nintendo games were too hard for me as a kid. So I instead focused on PlayStation 1 and 2 games. And while PlayStation 1 was hard for me as well, PlayStation 2 games were so much easier for me to get into, and that's where my love for Sony came in, because I started stocking up. granted, I got into GameCube too because of Metroid fucking Prime, because that's an amazing game.
I'll tell you that I'll just to pipe in. If I had played Metroid Prime when it came out instead of years later, I probably would have gone on completely different routes.
Yeah, like
Because holy crap, that game really is good. Oh, but I got back into gaming with the Wii because it had this whole virtual console thing where I get to play old systems. Like I was watching. I just got into watching The Angry Video Game Nerd and thought, oh, I want to be like that. And I was thinking all these old consoles I could buy, and then I realized, wait, I could buy a Wii and just have everything on one system.
yeah.
And that's when I discovered the first time Ocarina of Time, and then Twilight Princess, and then Metroid Prime, and Smash Brothers. Because I wasn't into Melee when it came out. Like I saw it in stores, but I just didn't get it.
I played with my friends. That's the thing. I started with the first Smash Brothers, and we played it a lot. But Melee was the one we played the most. The problem is I don't have a lot of friends coming over these days. Like back when Melee was out, I went to my friend's house to play it, and because I didn't have an N64. But then afterwards, back when Brawl came out, I bought the game, and me and a friend beat it in a day. And I loved the Subspace Emissary because it was a solo campaign. But after that, there wasn't much for me because my friends like started having jobs and lives and stuff that they had to do other than video game. As for me, the completionist, I didn't have anyone to play with, so I was more stuck with single player games where I could get stuff done and accomplish a lot of stuff. And yeah, I was playing more Kingdom Hearts at that time, or like Japanese role-playing games, stuff that really piqued my interest from the shelves. Or like stuff like Shadow of the Colossus that like my friend recommended to me that I could play on my own time, and I was working at the time as well, so I could just pretty much buy a batch of used games and go to town, as long as they weren't multiplayer games. So
I remember when my friend suggested I get Okami, and that was probably the best suggestion I ever had because I love Okami so much.
Okami is one of my favorite games, and it really is like 3 games in one. And a lot of people like it's way too long. I'm like, more of Okami is a good thing. More of Okami is what I want.
When I first played it, I thought I had finished the game, and it was like, oh no, wait, I still got like 10, 15 more hours.
And then 100% completing that. Like when I first got that platinum, I'm like, oh my god, that's one of my proudest ones. I have a lot of proud platinums, like Ni no Kuni was a big one. Kingdom Hearts 1 was a big one for me, but that's because we streamed it. But like there are some really big ones, and Okami's up there.
I just platinumed Spyro Reignited, like the entire thing. All 3 games, all of it. Some of the achievements were really easy, like go to one level, the Pacific level, and glide for like 10 seconds. Like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like Spyro they made to be a lot easier than stuff like Crash. Granted, I haven't played through a lot of Spyro. It's one of those games I really regret not having, because when I was a kid, Spyro was what I wanted to get. Spyro and Crash were like 2 of my loves, because we had Spyro at daycare, and then we had Crash at my aunt's house, which we never went to. So it's like, and I never had Crash 1. I think I started with Warped. So it's like,
Yeah, Warp. For the record, Warp was actually better than the first one. But the thing is, the first game I got with my PlayStation was Crash Bandicoot, and I sucked at it. And we didn't have a memory card back then, so we had to rely on passwords and that kind of shit. So I was shit at it. My father was actually the one playing it all the time. But then when I got Spyro, this was a game I actually could play. It wasn't just one hit die. It was like, oh, I can actually make mistakes. I can actually work with this. I mean, it still was complicated and frustrating for a 10, 12-year-old me, especially with the supercharged jumps. But it was definitely a lot more accessible than Crash was, the first one at least.
I feel like the first game had good initial level designs for Crash. Like, what really helped the initial game was the first, like, few levels were just so well designed, so fun to play, not too hard. Like, you started off, yeah, there were some, like, cheap deaths here and there, but overall, it was an enjoyable experience. And, like, stuff like the Great Wall, when you were playing it, I'm like, okay, I had a lot of fun playing that as a kid. I just never owned it to get good enough to get anywhere past the temple area. Because those camera angles, man.
Yeah. Speaking of Sony, who's thinking about getting this PSS Classic?
No.
Did you say wait, did you say PSS Classic?
Sorry, I'm cutting out a bit. Yeah, the PSX Classic. Honestly,
No,
I'm not
thank
gonna
you.
lie, I kind of want to get it after people have hacked it and made it better.
I would rather just buy the games. I have a PlayStation library, and while I do like the fact that you can probably play these games without the disc scratching, you need to have a bigger library than 20 games. I am sorry, but the PlayStation has way too huge a lineup, way too big a library of games to just say 20, because you're missing so many.
Well, so part of it's a licensing issue.
Well, yeah. But even still, like, if you're going to create a PlayStation Classic, 20 is still not enough. Even if it's a licensing thing, Sony has more than 20 games that they should put on their system. I don't care what your feelings on. Sony has a library of so many individual games that they could probably take 50 and still populate the list.
It's the same thing was with the SNES Classic, but some of the choices are just super bad. Ballerina to Shinden, Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash, Mr. Drill. What? Is this the best they could do without the licensing issue? Is this the best they could do without worry about games that are now, getting re-releases like Crash and Spyro and Medieval?
I mean, I know that Crash and Spyro and a few others were remastered, so that, like, I wasn't clamoring too much for that. But, like, what about Tomb Raider? What about Twisted, like, Metal? Or, like, there's a distinct lack of a lot of video games that were classics from back in the day that are not available now. Like, what about Legend of Dragoon, Xenogears?
You know what makes them a shit ton of money?
What?
If they just released an emulator.
But they won't do that because they hate. No one in the industry likes to talk about emulation. Nobody.
Just remember what Sony did to Bleem. All right.
To what?
Bleem?
Bleem.
I don't know what that is.
You never heard of Bleem?
No.
Bleemcast?
No.
This is a company who made a emulator to run legit PlayStation games on a Dreamcast.
Yeah, I never heard of them.
And they were running at a higher quality because, the Dreamcast was more powerful. And Sony sued them and lost, but Bleem still died because of the court fees and such. You've never heard of Bleem? Huh?
No.
But yeah, it was an emulator back in the day, And
I've
Sony
never
just
heard of
sued them.
it. I mean, I've heard of a few things. I've heard of quite a few emulators in my day, but I've never heard of Bleem. I've heard of Desmumi.
Well, like, Nintendo has this problem too. Just fucking re-release, just make an emulator for like $100. You could have every NES game on it. You could release one for Super Nintendo for every system you have, and you'll make a shit ton of money because people want to play the games they used to have without having to rely on old hardware.
But they won't do it for one simple reason, is that it's too close to pirating for their liking, because for some reason everyone associates emulating with piracy, when in fact the PSN versions of, like, PS1 games run on emulators. Everything you buy from the PlayStation Store is emulated.
PS Classic's an emulator.
And the thing is, they don't want to classify it as that. They don't want to draw your attention to the fact that it's an emulator, because if they do, they have to admit that emulation does not increase piracy. And you know how they are with that. They want to make sure that Like, everything is immediately anti-piracy, no matter what. I guarantee you that that's the reason.
Then fucking regulate.
Don't forget that Nintendo actually did make an emulator for the SNES and NES Classic. They've actually made a dedicated emulator for that system, for those systems. So yeah, they can make an emulator, but they're also going to put it inside those classics that do sell. They sell like crazy.
Yeah.
The SNES Classic has already sold 10. The combined sales of the NES and SNES Classic have already exceeded 10 million. 10 million!
Except for the fact that they're extremely hard to get.
The SNES wasn't hard to get. The NES was for a while, I'll agree. But the SNES Classic, they had plenty of that.
Okay.
How about this? How about they run an emulation site? Or not an emulation site, they could call it Nintendo Nostalgia Zone. How about that? They have these files you can download for $1 a game, and you can get your old games back and pick which and have the entire library because it's really goddamn easy.
That's what they would do it, but the thing is, they don't want to do that because they want to nickel and dime you for every single game, and that's why they drip feed you, because they only want the popular games that are gonna sell, because if they just give you games for free, or if they give you games that you're not going to buy, well, that's a game that people aren't buying. Again, this is a corporation, first and foremost. And so, unfortunately, unless they get all of the money, they're not going to provide the games. Like, unless there's a huge enough outcry. Like, you've seen how much it took just to get a Crash reboot. Like, not reboot, but like remake. You know how hard it was just to get a popular franchise like that, or like even Ratchet and Clank for that. Like, that took a while. Just imagine a game series that is very niche, that is really good, but not a lot of people are into. Like, say, I don't know, Ys. Where not everybody's heard of it, not everybody's gonna buy it, even if it's good. And so, like, they're not just gonna automatically put it available unless it's like something like Steam.
Like, Nintendo could do an online cloud-based streaming service on Switch, offering NES, SNES, N64, GameCube, and Wii games streaming on the Switch and be able to download. Yeah, they could do that. But they don't have to. They
want to make a profit. Like, the best example that I can think of is, have you heard of Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection, by any chance?
I think so. It's one of those collections.
It's basically a collection of a bunch of different Sega games, including Sonic, but it has stuff like Alex Kidd and Altered Beast, and it has a ton of games. I haven't gone through all the games yet, but it has like stuff like Comic Zone. You've never heard of Comic Zone before, and they're not going to.
Have.
Well, most people haven't heard of Comic Zone before. Is my point? It's not exactly people jumping at the bit. And if they sold like something like, say, okay, if they sold something like that individually, it's not worth the price tag. But they want to do that. They want to do it. So it's like, if it's stuff from the old days that was good, but not everybody is going to be 100% on board with it, they're not going to sell it until they know that there's enough of a demand. Granted, their perception of the demand might be a lot skewed, and in many cases it is. I will state that there, but again, I didn't even hear of Altered Beast myself for the longest time, and that's a popular game. And then you get some of the more obscure ones in that collection, the stuff that's not Sonic, and some of the stuff that I will not finish. Like, there's a really, really good game on that.
All the major companies make emulators. All right. How do you think Xbox gets Xbox 360 titles?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, everything is emulation. It's just
it's not worth anything to them to just giving that out for everyone to use. No.
Yeah. Another thing though is have you heard of a little game called Decap Attack?
No.
That's another one that was in the Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection. Decap Attack is a weird, fun little game that's like horror themed. You play as basically someone who's like a mummy who fights with his stomach. It's so weird and out there, and it's really fun and creative, but you probably haven't heard of it. I that was a pleasant surprise when I played it, but it's just like, to a random person, do you think they're going to sell Decap Attack to someone? No, they're going to sell Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection because it sells, and they're going to sell it as a pack. So if they do ever make like of things available, they're going to have packs where they bring it to people with the popular games.
It's like how the SNES Classic could have like all these great titles like Super Mario World and Final Fantasy VI, Legend of Zelda, and Super Metroid. Then stuff like, oh, I don't know, Super Castle and what was it again?
Super Ghouls and Goblins.
Super Ghouls and Goblins. Yeah.
Like there's a lot of
Contra
stuff.
3.
Yeah. Then again, like Ghouls and Goblins, or like whatever the first two games in that series, aren't very good. They're just known for being hard. And I've seen Johnny's review of that, and I'm like, it's just a game it's hard to just for the sake of being hard, and then you have to beat it again because you don't finish the game the first time. And there's a siren on my end. Wow. Jeez, it's a noisy day.
Hollow Bastion?
What's that?
Why are you back in Hollow Bastion?
Because I needed to level up. I'm grinding.
Oh, okay.
This is probably the easiest place to start off grinding if you need to, because the randomized cards are better here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you arrived a little bit late. I tried to fight Vexen, who is at the end of the world that I basically beat at the last game, and he kicked my ass because my darkness level is too low.
Yeah.
Jeez, where is everybody today anyway? Are they all They must be watching Super Butterbuns like stream or something. Because
well, that and John Page is doing an 8-hour stream.
Oh, isn't that always the case? I'm like, okay, I normally I have like at least 10 people in here, and I was kind of confused because last week and this week I've had a little bit of less people around. Granted, last week was Thanksgiving, so that's understandable. Either way, this isn't the best game anyway. Like I've been saying, in my free time, I've been playing Kingdom Hearts 2, and Kingdom Hearts 2 is a ton of fun, and I can't wait to stream it, and I can't wait to, get those drive forms upgraded so I can be a massive, like, walking tank. Also, Kat and Doug are having issues on their ends. Apparently, their car engine caught on fire today.
Yeesh.
So that's why they aren't here. Like it's been a lot of bad luck for people today. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I had some bad luck today. I found out I didn't have enough money to pay my bills.
Oh god, I hate when that happens.
So I had to have my parents bail me out.
Yeah, thankfully I had enough this week, but I've been working overtime. Like I said, I worked 13 hours today, straight. Mm-hmm. Which, it's tiring, but at the same time, it looks really good on me. It's definitely worth it for that good overtime. And I was pretty much in charge of what I was doing. I'm like, over there, I am a manager in training. And they let me do my own thing, and I'm happy with that. I ran my pieces, I did well, so they can't say anything to me. I'm good. But that last hour was tough. But yeah, you know, after that 13-hour shift, I should get a pretty decent paycheck. I'm like working to get these bills lowered so much, and I one of these days I won't have like at least one of these cards, so it'll be a little bit easier. But I'm also gearing up for surgery costs, because God knows I know they're going to not be very enjoyable. But you know, I will make do with what I have. I have insurance, so that's helpful at least. But I think my copay or deductible, whatever it's called, is like $4,000 for a surgery.
That's not that bad.
That's not too bad, but like on top of everything else, $4,000 is a lot.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm just like I'm waiting to see. I have a scheduled CAT scan on the 5th. I have an echo stress test on the, I believe it's Christmas Eve. An echo stress test is where they measure the heart just to see if it's being, if any stress is caused from the chest itself. And then I have a follow-up the beginning of January. Now, each of those appointments is probably going to cost me about $50, because that's how it works. From there, though, I'll know dates and costs and stuff like that. So I have that. That's why I'm working overtime now. I'm just like, okay, I need to get in that extra money to get rid of all this excess bills, so when the time comes, I can focus on that instead.
Make it rain!
What? Oh, damn. Thank you for the 100 bits, Itchy. You just unlocked a new level.
Yeah.
You just made it rain. If you're following on the stream, that you unlocked a new anime hug gif, along with other things. So, good job. Thank you very much.
I just saw it. It's really cute.
That's probably one of my favorite anime hug gifs to this day. Oh, God. But thank you. Thank you very much.
Gotta get that chest surgery paid somehow.
Yep. The next gift levels are 500, and I think 500 is the last one. Although 69 is my favorite one.
Yep, mine too.
Gay. So donate those 69 bits. You won't be disappointed. Speaking of gay, I had despite my long night at work, I had a very enjoyable night because Ari finally allowed me to post some pics of her on Facebook, and Ari's very shy. She does not like her appearance, unfortunately, and I have to tell her every day that she is the most beautiful girl I have ever seen. But
she is Ari-dorable.
She is. And so I finally was able to post pictures of her on my Facebook. And I was a little bit worried because I didn't know how some of my family would react, but everyone was saying she's gorgeous, and I screen capped it and I sent it to her. Now, she's not online today. She's going to be out for a couple days. But I'm waiting to see what she says when she comes back, because literally everyone said she was gorgeous, and I'm just like, that made me, that was a good night. That made my day.
And we have undeniable proof that Ari is adorable.
Yes, she is really cute and adorable, and she is my rock. She can also kick my ass. Like, literally, she's built. So, like, that's everything I want in a girl. And Chiaki, what are you doing? My DS is not for you to play. That is not your system. Let's see.
Stop rubbing it in Shaki's face that she went with a Vita, not her 3DS.
No, I have all my portable systems lined up, and she was like trying to paw at them because she's destructive. Especially today, she woke me up at 6, and like I tried to get back to sleep, and she started like attacking things that I didn't want to her attack. So I was like, okay, I got to get up, I guess. But yeah, like Chiaki was in trouble today. And granted, I'm out of dry food, so I just gave her wet food today, and she's probably just like wanting dry food. Although she's not gonna be happy because come like next paycheck, I'm gonna stop feeding her wet food. It is way too expensive. Wet food is like ridiculous. I'm also going to start feeding her adult cat food next paycheck, so she's not going to be happy, I guarantee it. But you know, she's a spoiled little brat, so.
She's gotta learn sometime who the head of the house is.
Yeah, it's Ari. She's the one who wears the pants. I'm the one who treats her with love and respect and devotion. So, you know, that's everything that I need to do.
She wears the pants, you wear the pants and the skirt.
I wear the skirt. Or the dress in some cases. And speaking of dresses, I'm waiting for it to come in, but I have a Kingdom Hearts 3 Kairi dress that I ordered a while back. It was said that it's supposed to ship sometime like at the end of this week or the beginning of next week. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't gotten confirmation, but the seller on Etsy, it looks gorgeous, and I cannot wait to show you guys pictures of it because, first of all, it's Kingdom Hearts 3 Kairi's dress because that's the cutest thing ever. But it's one of those things that I'm just like, damn, like, I can finally wear something that's adorable and functional.
That's the nice thing about Nomura's zipper design.
And I've wanted to get the Kairi's dress from Kingdom Hearts 2 for a while now, but back when I was doing cosplay like very often, I only went with Valiform Sora because I was afraid to go out in public with crossplay. Because again, I was in denial of my status as a trans woman. But nowadays I'm just like, yeah, go for it. Let's do this. I want to cosplay as Toko Nanami as well because Bloom to You is amazing, and I need to see episode. Oh god, what is it? Episode 6 just came out yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to watch it. So
I need to watch the new Honda song.
And there's a new Zombieland saga that I need to watch as well. Lily is best girl. I will hear no arguments.
I still need to watch She-Ra, the new She-Ra.
Oh yeah, I do need to watch She-Ra. She-Ra like looks really good, and from what I hear, it's great. Aside from the pissy whiny babies who just want to masturbate to a 16-year-old girl, which, ew, gross.
I mean, there was what was that meme I shared? 2 chicks chilling in a hot tub, 0 feet apart because they're all gay. Because they're all 2 kids chilling in a hot tub, 0 feet apart because they're all gay.
You know that was Anthony Padilla who did that meme?
I don't know.
You know,
but
I
really like. I saw clips of this character Mamista, and she really is this apathetic, water-bending princess. And I'm like, okay, people are gonna start making assumptions that she's Asami and Korra's daughter or some shit like that. Because I'm sorry, Mr. Will. What? Sorry, you're the only one who can breathe underwater. I could just love the way she just goes.
Oh god, I just
like people would say, oh, the designs aren't realistic. Really? You gotta say the She-Ra designs, you know, the ones they designed because they needed toy designs, were realistic? They were all the bloody same.
not only that, but they didn't look 16. Plus, I have friends who have the same body design as, what is it, Scorpia or whatever. Like, I know people who are built like this. This is normal. It's just you don't understand it because you have the intellectual range of a teaspoon. So, you know.
Yeah, when Shira's new design first came out, people were drawing her with dips. Like, like, she's not like the original Shira. She must be a transgender something. Blah blah blah.
Like there are people who are built like that. You don't have. Here's the thing, like I get, you know, some people have their preconceived notions of whatever, but the thing is, like, I'm a trans woman. I obviously have a more masculine voice. Some people might, like, be taken aback by that, but I have a cis female friend who has a voice just as deep as mine. There are people who are built like this, and people just don't understand it. It's chromosomes make up how we look and how our voices are made, and chemical makeup, like, based on how much X and Y and blah blah blah. Everything is chemicals, and I hate to break it to you people, but there are like cis females out there who are very, very masculine, and there are cis males who are very, very feminine. I was when I was a kid as well, and granted, I wish that I didn't go through puberty, but that's the thing. These things happen. It's natural, and people need to get the fuck over it and educate themselves and learn fucking science, because that's fucking science.
The thing is, they don't want science. They want to be right.
These transphobic people who treat everyone else like snowflakes are the ones who complain about Shira being looking different, the Doctor being a woman, not having Merry Christmas on their Starbucks cup.
Like the stuff that they complain about literally affects nobody, but like they take offense to, and the stuff that like that they seem adamant about, like, is natural. Like I don't understand it. I don't get it. Then again, yeah, I'm biased. I'm trans, but guess fucking what? There's a lot of us in the world because, you know, I want to say like maybe 2% of the human population is like a certain level of trans or whatever, and if you compare that to the billions of people out there, that's a lot of us. You know, it's just because you think you're normal, you're probably not. There's something with everybody. The basic thing is everybody's just a little bit fucked. And it's okay. But yeah, speaking of which, I was a little bit upset last night because there was this really amazing article on Crunchyroll written by a transgender woman about how Lily meant a lot to her, because there aren't too many like straight out transgender representation out there. There are trans characters, but not too many open trans characters, and how much of an impact that left on her. And I really like that article. First comment, that's a dude. Like they're just like, Lily's a dude, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like they said you can't magically just change genders, and I'm like, do you not it's not science? Like,
or just be like, why do you care?
Yeah, first of all, why do you care? But second of all, like, here's the you can change genders. It's scientifically proven, but even that, like, the way they're treating it is biological sex, and sex can be changed as well. So yes, you can magically change these things with surgeries or with hormones.
He's a goddamn zombie.
Yeah, what does it care what's between the zombie's legs? First of all,
who gives a fuck about realism? She's a goddamn zombie.
Why do these people put more emphasis on what is between your legs than a person in general? Seriously, stop.
Because they want to hate. That's why
they use transphobes as being basically, you know, perverted abominations.
No, they are transphobic.
sorry, transphobics accuse transgenders of being perverted abominations, yet they're the ones who are continuously wanting to control what is between a person's legs.
Which is
That's the thing.
Patrol toilets, patrol whatever. I mean, what?
The number one tactic of bigots is projecting.
It's disgusting, especially since I heard about this news thing where like somebody marched into a bathroom, knocked down the door, like burst in on somebody who was using the bathroom, misgendered them, and like strong-armed them out of there. This was a principal of a school.
Yeah, this was at a high
I saw
school.
the video. They called the cops. The cops shouldn't have done shit.
First of all, like,
lady, you're a fucking idiot.
first of all, you don't bust down the door. Like, if you think there is a problem, you wait until the person comes out. Second of all, that's sexual harassment. Third of all, fuck all y'all.
Like, that lady should be a sex offender now.
Why are we policing genitals? Why do we police genitals? Because I guarantee you, 9 out of 10 males, like, or I guarantee you a large portion of males have, like, you know, something up with their testicles, or like, you know, something removed, or like this or that, or like something up, but we don't go out of our way to look at that shit. Whatever's happening with your balls is you.
These whole bathroom bills are like, oh, well, someone could go into a toilet and assault somebody, you know, pretend to be the other gender. Dude.
You're the one who's doing it.
Oh, okay, if you're... Hey, dude, explain to me why you think gun laws won't change anything, yet you think a simple bathroom bill is going to stop sexual predators going into other gender bathrooms and assaulting people.
They don't think it.
They don't think this through, especially because they're the ones.
They do. No, they do think
No,
this
they
through.
don't. They just want.
Allow me to
Shut
explain.
up.
Dude?
They're using this argument to pursue this motivation. They have thought this through. They're using this to motivate the masses.
I was not
They
saying
have
for
thought
you to
this-
shut up. I was saying that that's what they're saying.
Like,
What I'm saying is they have thought this through. All right.
Yes.
They have. This is why they use these arguments.
Yes.
With the whole you know, religious freedom, they thought through to fight when it comes to same-sex marriage. They will divert the arguments. They will use religion for same-sex marriage, religious freedom. They'll use public safety for transgender.
in all of these arguments, in which case they are perpetrating their own arguments. Essentially, they are the criminals in their own cases by doing things to the people that they say is going to happen. You know the whole thing about them paying women to like testify against somebody and make false accusations. They said that would happen. They're the ones doing that.
Every time.
And I'm sorry for bringing up a heated debate. I don't want to dwell on this too much.
There is no debate. There is no debate here because everybody is here on the same side.
Well, yeah,
It's pretty much just,
but
it's
we
just
are
balls
getting
agreeing with
heated,
each other.
so
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there is no transgender debate. We are humans.
Oh, yeah.
We are people. We
Hang
should
on,
not
I'm getting
be.
another call. I might be back later.
All right. We should be treated with respect. Is all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Because society has evolved. And that's another thing that why these people are against, because they're against evolution, obviously. I'm willing to bet
These
most of the
people are so anti-science, it hurts. It's like you try to introduce any form of science, and
It's not just anti-science, it's anti-change. They can't stand it. I mean, okay, I don't know if anyone hear about this, but did anyone hear about the strikes that happened in Australia this week?
no.
Students went on strike. they actually strike against school. They were striking for the Australian government to do something about climate change all across the country. Grade school and high school students struck against for the government to stand against climate change, and all the Prime Minister Scott Morrison, or as he likes to call himself, ScoMo. He's a 55-year-old man. He's calling himself ScoMo. Said, "Oh, these kids should be better off in school." No, really. How dare these kids actually be inspired and take a stand? They should be in school where they learn to be inspired.
These are the same people who are just like, oh, our kids today have no drive to do anything major to affect change. And when they do, they say, oh, they're too young to know better. No, you're too dumb to know better. The people in charge are either too dumb or too bigoted.
Greedy.
Yeah, too greedy, too bigoted, to just anti-everything that doesn't make them a profit. That it ends up, they alienate the next generation, who they say they want to actually do something, and they criticize them for being millennials, yet when they actually stand up and do something like they want them to do, it's all like, oh no, we don't want you to do this.
Not like that. Not like Occupy. Not like, you know, the gun rallies. Not climate change. No, not like that.
Don't go against things that we like. Go against things that we hate. And it's just like, no, they're standing for, like, transgender rights. They're standing for gay rights and other things. And all it just ends up being is the people in charge end up looking like assholes, and nobody's doing anything to keep them in check. And there's supposed to be a system of checks and balances. Well, it doesn't feel like it. Especially when a lot of the people in power just wanna, like, go with the flow, right? Like, sit back on their laurels. They're like, fuck you, I got mine. Well, you know what? I don't. I don't have anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I'm concerned about your country's Democrats. Most of them, like Chuck Schumer and everything, are just really just to go with the flow and not actually take a stand at anything. Like, you've got the House now, guys. Go with it. We want you to investigate. We want you to put these damn, you know, hurdles in place to actually keep a tyrannical nutcase from going insane.
Somebody who's trying to recreate the Holocaust. So yeah, like this is the darkest timeline right now. Anyway, let's talk about something happier. I'm gay.
Let's put this image I just saw. Guys, if you ever have the urge to send a girl a dick pic, send a dog pic instead. I guarantee the results will be 1,000 times better. I can confirm that. I can confirm. One of my best lady friends, you know, was feeling down a few weeks ago, and I could have sent a dick pic, but instead I sent like 20 pictures of dogs. She was like, "Oh my god, I needed this so much. Thank you, dick." And I'm like,
no one ever said I need that dick pic.
Yeah, when girls say they want the D, they mean dog.
The Sunny D. You need your day.
Or in Laura's case, from Spyro the Dragon.
Everyone needs this. Everyone needs their daily dose of D. But yeah, like things are kind of crazy. But at least we have the gay. That's all I can count on right now. We got the gay. I have a wonderful girlfriend, so that's good.
And now George H.W. Bush is in heaven, apologizing to all the gay people that he let die because he ignored AIDS.
Let's just say all presidents suck and just kind of leave it at that.
No, that's not entirely true. Barry was an alright dude.
Hashtag not all presidents.
Not all presidents. I mean, Jimmy Carter. Come on, people don't give him anywhere near enough credit.
I like there are good presidents out there. Like, I mean, JFK and quite a few of them, but dear God, some of the ones that, like, we've had a huge history.
In 20 years' time, when we're all chugging down some Soylent Kale, we're gonna be looking back and thinking, how the fuck did we let that happen again? How did we let this happen?
Because people keep saying, oh, it's not like it was before. It's like this, you can't compare this to this. And I'm like, there are very clear signs of history repeating itself. We're not keeping anybody in check. So, like, it's going to happen again. And I mistrust anybody in power with enough power to do anything.
What we need to do now is get all of us together and just go to Canada. I mean, there's weed, it's cleaner. Their prime minister is a stud. Like, I'm straight, but even I think, damn, that guy is too cute to be a leader.
But wasn't there something in the news about, like, this anti-trans thing happening in Canada?
I don't believe that. I do not believe that.
I hate to believe it, but I remember hearing it on a timeline, and unfortunately, like the UK is bad, and there's some places that are just going to shit, and so it's hard. It's hard being me and trying to find a place to go right now.
I understand. I do. I really do.
It's like, I just wish people could just sit down and shut the fuck up and just mind their own business and let us do what we want. But the worst part is, you know how long it took me just to change my name and gender legally? And it's story time, folks. Buckle up, because this year has been a ride, a serious ride of me, you know, thinking, okay, well, there's not too much to do to go from male to female on all of my records. Oh no, it wasn't that simple at all. And okay, so there is a list of things, and a lot of stuff that you don't think you need until you actually do need it. First of all, you need a note from a doctor who's done some sort of work on you, rather than give you hormones, which in and of itself, in most cases, not in my case because I got very lucky, in most cases you need a note from a licensed therapist to get hormones. So essentially, for most people in this country, you need to take the time to find a therapist, you have to wait months just to get an appointment, because like most therapists have a 6-month waiting time. You have to have a few interactions with them. Normally, it takes about 3 or 4 before they'll even prescribe you anything, and some places even require a year of you undergoing just living as a transgender person before even going on hormones, which in and of itself is stupid, because if you need hormones to pass, you likely are not going to do well just being transgender without it. That's just dumb in and of itself. But okay, so again, these are things I didn't need. But once you actually have that note from a therapist, then you have to go to a doctor, get the hormones, and then get a note stating that he's done some sort of work, like either hormones or surgery or whatnot. That's step 1. Then, once you do that, you can actually legally change your name and gender through the court, and then you have to use your doctor's note to change your birth certificate. You have to change Social Security. You have to change your license, registration, and title to your car, which essentially I had to sell my car to myself on paper for that thing to go through, which is the weirdest shit. It's not just like, oh, we're just gonna change the name of the document. No, on paper I had to sell myself a car, so I now owe myself $50 for that fee. That is step 1. All of that took from January to, I started in January, I think it was June when I finally had the license and registration and title and everything there. Then you have to update your work, you have to update IRS, you have to update your credit cards, which if you do have credit cards, each one takes a month. And they all need proof, and some of them are mail-in only, some of them are fax only. Every single rewards membership or anything that has your name, and you have to seek it out because not everything will have it. All 3 credit bureaus, which is separate than your credit cards. Some of the credit bureaus update automatically, some don't. So you have to still mail in letters and still go through that process. Then you have to update your like college diploma, because what if you lose your job and you need to prove that you graduated college? You need to notify Selective Service if you were born biologically male, because they don't care about, you know, being transgender. If you are biologically male at birth, they need to know your name if it's updated, because they don't recognize transgender in the Selective Service, which is bullshit, but you can probably apply for a thing. Then you have to update your, like, anything that has association with your old name, your old identity, you have to automatically change. And there's so many things that I didn't even like mention right now, but like there's every single step of the way it's a battle against you, and it's just there's no easy button to push just to do it. But think about it, every single time I had to make a phone call, I got misgendered. That was a year of being misgendered, simply because you need to update everything on file. It's hell. It is literal hell, and after a while, like, you get so burnt out by it that you have to take a step back and take a break. It's ridiculous. I really wish that this was an easier process, but it really isn't. People have to go through this, especially if you're male to female, like, because there's, like, if you're transferring to male, there's less that you have to change, because people are automatically going to start, like, they see a male name, they're automatically going to use male pronouns. It's such a long process, and it's such an exhaustive exercise in futility. I just wish it was easier. Granted, I'm on my last legs of the legal shit, but again, it's taken me a year. It should not have taken that long.
Once it's done, it'll be all the better.
Yeah.
Just imagine what it's like for someone trying to immigrate into this country, regardless of gender. I mean, Jesus Christ.
And especially if you are transgender trying to legally immigrate, there are people who are trying to do it legally and they're being turned away because of things that they can't even control. And I know people who have been basically who just became citizens recently, like my cousin Steve. His wife is Japanese. She recently got her citizenship, but imagine, like, what if something were to have happened? Like, she would have had to go back to Japan, and it's a nightmare of litigation that is supposed to make things safer and easier, but only alienates those of us who have to go through it when we shouldn't have to.
I mean, look, there's a bill in my home state right now, making it so gender isn't put on birth certificates. And there is a whole uproar about that. I'm like, dude, it's not like it's going to make everybody trans. It's just getting rid of some of this bureaucracy. I mean, your country's bureaucracy is just not well. It is just, you keep trying to make things work, and it's obviously falling apart, and instead of just getting it a new model, you keep trying to duct tape it and glue it back together, and it just keeps on falling apart.
The worst thing is that you mentioned that bill. There was something going around in the White House about making a bill that would change your birth certificate to only it would basically change your medical status to only show your birth would show on your birth certificate from sex standpoint. So they wouldn't recognize transgender in medical records. And there was a huge backlash, and rightly so, because, first of all, I don't care what your stance on being transgender is. You need to know somebody's medication right off the bat. And having my marker set to, like, trans female is needed so that I get the proper medical care. If I do not get that proper medical care, then I could be gone, like, shipped to the emergency room. They could treat me as male, give me something that, like, counteracts my medication, and they've killed somebody. Granted, they should have a list of my meds on record, but what if they don't? What if, for some reason, they gave me something that badly interacted with spironolactone, and that would be completely horrible.
Like, I'm guessing that having your medical records, it isn't easy to transfer to one place to another, is it?
No, because even like I went to my gender clinic the other day, and I found out that they hadn't updated my gender marker, and they had put me in the system twice, one as male and one as female, with one with my old name, one with my new name. Now they have to merge the records, and it's all this weird rigmarole, because, and I started going to this doctor like July. So, like, this has been happening since July, and nobody noticed it, even though they addressed me as the proper name, and it's been so weird. So I have to go back again soon and make sure that they updated everything, because I still can't access, like, my records and anything through there, because they think I'm a different person. It's so weird. That's
also a thing I've seen in my line of work. I work at a pharmacy, and I actually had a customer who's now regular, and I kind of just figured that she is trans, because she has her male name at the doctor's office, and then when she came to the pharmacy, she wants to go under a female name, and it's always hard to figure that out sometimes, because you don't. It's always just on paper. Oh, it's this guy's name, and you think it's the guy the whole time. And they're supposed to be listed as male in our computer system, because that's how the doctor writes the prescription.
It would be so much easier if we stopped caring about biological birth, sex, and just, like, use gender as a moniker. Because who really cares too much about sex? If you need it for medical reasons on your thing, you could put, like, trans female. That tells you everything you need to know if you're a medical professional. It's just been, to me, so baffling the more I learn, and the more, just the bureaucracy and how hard it is simply to get something changed over, and finding out several times that they either messed up the first time, or that they didn't update it, they just made a new person in the system, which causes all sorts of problems. Like, I remember the first time I tried to update one of my cards, I forget what it was, I looked and they put, like, they changed my first name correctly, but they misspelled my last name, and I'm like, I didn't ask you to change my last name. Like, what are you doing? And this happens, and then again, every time I went on the phone, because I have a deep voice, even though I said, can you please put in my title as Miss, they would end it like, they would call me Mr., even if I had already updated my title in the system. Several areas, several times, I had people baffled when I asked, can I change my gender on record, because I didn't say title. And I'm like, what's the difference? Like, it's the same word. It's just, it means the same exact thing, but people are baffled by gender and not title. It's weird, and it's just like, hello, I just said something, like, I just asked you to call me Miss, and you updated it, and yet you're not doing it. Like, what the hell is going on with you people?
Like, the people who feel like, oh, they told me I should refer to them as Mrs., like, oh, that is just, like, I'll admit sometimes I make a mistake here and say he and use the wrong right pronouns and try and correct myself, but still, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, if you have this much of an issue, remembering that, oh, they want to be referred to as she or they, I mean, come on. Maybe you shouldn't be around. Maybe, I mean, what do you want from them? You want them to stick to your norms? No. Sorry, pal.
I understand that for some people it is hard, which is why I give you and Twilight some slack, because obviously, like, you're gonna slip up. You've known me as one thing for a while.
I will admit that, just like, you know, the voice sometimes does throw me off. That does.
And I mean, like, I am going to get to vocal lessons in January to help make that a little bit better, and then I'm hoping to get vocal surgery, just to help with a bunch of things.
Yeah. Oh,
so it's just like I get it. Believe me, I do get it. But at least you guys are trying. There's a point where, like, you really have to, like, stop and say, like, dear God, like, just try.
But of course, the other people are like, "Fuck your feelings." All right.
Those are the ones with the most, like, feelings-based reactions.
Yeah, and if they call everyone else snowflakes.
Yeah, so it's just like, to me, it's a big deal, because I spent a year trying to make sure my identity was changed. A year where every single step of the way I was met with misgendering and just hassle from every step, every corner. And you might be wondering, like, why are you so upset? It's just a gender, it's just a name. Because I am not male. And every single time I am associated as male, it's like a stress thing. There are people literally who die of stress-related gender dysphoria. It's a plot point in Zombieland Saga. People can die from this. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily like we have feelings that are being hurt. It's this gives us heart attacks and panic attacks.
Yeah. And you're being kind of an asshole about it, too, as well. So, you know what? Yeah, facts don't care about your feelings, you're right, but people do. And you can change opinions.
So, this year has been hard. I mean, in addition to that, like, I've been paying twice what I used to for rent, so that's unnecessary. So much unnecessary burden on my back. For everything. It's just, it's been a year where I've had so much stress, and my girlfriend has been my rock and gotten me through it, and my mom has helped too, but it's not easy. And if things were put into place to make it easier, like for medical care or for basic things that could help us, that's all I'm asking. You know, you don't even have to understand it. You don't have to understand what I'm going through. You all you need to do is accept that it's something I'm going through. That's all you need to do. It's like you don't question that somebody is depressed. You don't question that somebody has dyslexia. It's a condition that they have. And it's not that we're mentally ill, it's just that we have a proven, scientifically proven medical condition, and we need easy access to help. I got lucky. Again, I got lucky in many aspects. I didn't have to wait years to get hormones and to change my name and all of this stuff that many people need. I got lucky in the fact that I found a job that doesn't care that I'm transgender, because I openly had to change everything for pay, and I told them, hey, this is what's going on, and my boss doesn't care. He's like, I haven't met a transgender person before, but you do good work, so it's whatever. That's all that should matter. I got lucky in the fact that I got health insurance right when I needed it, because I was out of health insurance up until July. It's not an easy world, and there's a lot of people who are going without the care they need, and I can't imagine what it would be like if I didn't have health insurance.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome to the world of being transgender.
And yeah, I still talk about this than the game you're playing.
Oh yeah, this is infinitely better. But I'm just saying, like, I've been talking more and more openly about it as time goes on, because I'm finding more and more just how much of a backlash there is to something that doesn't affect people's lives. So I've been openly discussing it in the internal thoughts and feelings and everything that goes on with it, and I hope I can at least educate one or two people who need to be educated on this stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that people don't know. Hell, I wasn't even sure if, like, I have to update my Eagle Scout card, and for a while there I wasn't sure if I could update that in the system, because I didn't know that Boy Scouts accepted transgender youth until recently.
Yeah, they just started, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. But, like, I called the registrar, and they still gotta, like, update it on their end, and they gotta send me a new card, but, getting Eagle Scout is one of the biggest achievements in my life. And by changing my name and gender, there's a possibility that I could have completely erased that achievement. If they didn't accept any transgender people, or if they didn't accept females, which they are starting to do now, like...
Yeah, I get you, man.
There's a lot of stuff in your life that we take for granted. Accomplishments, things that you think can't be taken away. But they can if people deny you the basic right to be who you are and don't accept you because of it. And I feel like there's a lot of people who don't seem to understand that it is an issue. It is something that it's not feelings based. It's we lose so much just by being who we are. And what are you doing, kitty cat? Huh? Huh? Everyone say hello to Chiaki. She's on my lap and she's staring at me. Hello.
Meow.
Hello.
Meow, meow. Meow.
You woke me up at 6 p.m. today. Alright, go on, sorry.
I was gonna ask, I mean, are you interested in doing Game Awards reaction? Because I'm hearing rumors that we might be getting Metroid Prime 4.
When is it? That's my issue.
I think it's the 6th or 7th. I don't remember now.
What day is that?
It's either Thursday or Friday.
I probably won't be able to do it because I'll have work, and I want to focus on getting paid. Like even if it's around during the day, I want to make sure that I'm well rested enough.
I get you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably find enough people. I mean, the Game Awards are okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing prestigious, you know.
They're not too huge, and I think a good thing about the Game Awards is that they aren't like really big and well known yet. Although I'm kind of worried about E3 because a lot of the big things are leaving E3. Sony's not going to be at E3.
I know, but well, I made the claim a few years ago when Nintendo, backed away from, doing the, physical presentation, just going direct, that E3 was losing its significance, because you don't need E3 now to make your presentation. If you want to look at how they announced the latest consoles. None of those consoles were announced at E3. The last console that was announced at E3 was the fucking Wii U.
which botched. My question,
Yeah.
my question though is, are they going to do digital stuff? Are they going to present a digital presentation?
They might do their own thing, like what EA is doing, like their EA Play thing. They might, I don't know. I mean, look, it all depends really. I mean, does Sony actually have anything to show this year? I mean, Last of Us 2, what's going on with that? Days Gone, what's going on with that? Do they want to hold things off into the PS5, which I really hope doesn't get announced till 2020.
It was too soon for the PS4, even though it dominated. It's too soon for the PS5.
Oh, no, look, the PS4 came out at the right time. The PS3 was done.
But there were still good games starting to come on the PS3. And yeah, the PS3 was a failed system. I will admit that, but still, it came out. Honestly, I feel like the PS4 should have been like what the PS I don't know, either backwards compatible with the PS3 or there was just a disconnect.
I think the reason why is that the PS3 was just so complicated with the cell processor, even Sony can't emulate it properly.
What's that sound in the background?
I think that's Itchy with the keyboard.
Sorry,
but the
Okay.
The PS4, I just did a presentation in the school about circular design, making the argument how the PS4, should have at least have a 10-year life cycle. If they want to do an update with VR or 4K, they should do a 32x upgrade, to the main system instead of releasing a brand new system.
We need a 15-year life cycle for systems, and I know some people think that's too long. I'm like, it hasn't even been 5 years, and we're already talking about the next system.
Yeah, and the PS4 Pro could probably last a lot longer.
The PS4 in general can last longer. At this point, the only thing that's going to get better is graphics slightly, but even still, it's not a big thing.
And trust me, when it comes to engine technology like Unreal or id and that kind of stuff, it's not going to need as demanding of an upgrade. The PS4 specs are still good. They can still run things at a very good rates.
Yeah,
this is like the PS3, which had less RAM than the first generation iPhone. I mean, look, there's no need for a PS5.
The hardware is here. We have all the hardware we're going to need for the next 5 to 10 years. And you say, wait a second, what about Murphy's Law? We've hit the limit of Murphy's Law to where technology is slowing down.
Technology. We had this slow increase when it came to the 90s with CD technology and that kind of stuff. And then the last 15 years have seen a massive increase in storage, in memory, in performance.
But now even storage is starting to cap out. We're getting terabytes, yeah. But no one's talking about yottabytes because they haven't figured it out yet.
Yottabytes? Well, what about petabytes? Come on. Where's my petabyte hard drive? Look, I mean, there's no need. I mean, this is why Nintendo can make something like the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I think Nintendo has the right idea, and granted they have their own unique approaches to things, but we need to stop thinking about bam, 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 new, every 5 years, and face the fact that we have hit a bit of a plateau. And Ash was talking about this for a while. He said, for the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to have similar technology, slightly better, but you don't need to invest in that slightly better hardware. Keep what you have, wait for the next generation. Then that's when things are gonna boom.
It's unfortunately, it's the psychological obsolescence of things these days.
And
we basically will just throw things out just because we think they've gone out of style.
And that's the thing. I still have my old systems. There's still great games on these old systems. I want to play them. And I feel like just by throwing out all these old systems immediately, it really acts as a deterrent. in many ways. Alright, so I have my DP is at 20, my AP is at 15. Let me see status. Attack points, dark points. I think I'm gonna level up one more time. I'm gonna level up my health, and then I'm gonna try it again because I've grinded for 2 hours now, and I wasn't planning to grind all that much in his campaign. But Vexen, you need the dark points for this. If you don't, he's harder because he's not that hard a boss in Riku's campaign when you have your darkness meter, but when you don't, it's a pain in the ass. Yeah, what else? Like, somebody tell me some good news. It's been a trying week, and I'd like some good news other than the fact that my girlfriend is awesome, and I'm glad that my family and friends like her. So
Actually, question: why were you worried that your family weren't going to be nice to her? You don't have to say if you don't want to.
Well, there's a couple things. Like, first of all, I was worried that my well, I don't think my dad's even seen this yet, but my dad has like a stigma against African American like interspecies marriage, and it's weird because I wouldn't classify him as racist. He keeps saying he wants to protect us from racist comments, and he did this to my sister. She went to prom with a friend of hers who was black, and he basically went on this whole spiel about how they shouldn't be dating because people might be saying something in order to, quote-unquote, protect her, which is ridiculous, but that's apparently the mindset that, you know, people have. So I was worried about that, and granted, like, I got a missed call from him today after I had posted on Facebook. And I was a little bit worried because I was afraid he was gonna say something. Granted, he hasn't seen the post yet, because that was a butt dial, but still, like, I'm always a little bit worried that he's going to start something. The other thing is that Ari looks very young. She's she's older than she looks, but she looks very young, and I didn't want to get that from people either. I was a little bit worried that people were gonna start saying something. But no, like, everyone said she looks beautiful, so I was happy with that.
Yeah, it's actually a girl I like, and she's actually the same age as me, but because she has muscular dystrophy, she actually looks much younger. I've known her for like 10 years, unfortunately, but yeah, this is the situation, unfortunately.
Yeah, there are people who look a lot younger, and some people who are younger look a lot older these days, a lot more mature, which is...
Like, people at my school are surprised when I say I'm 30. Like, I mean, I don't pass off as 30. whatever that is.
I mean, I don't think I look like I'm 28. But then again, I have a baby face, and so it's like I didn't want any comments, especially because when I first saw Ari, I wasn't looking at her like that, you know. I treat people relationship wise first, like, hey, are you a good person? That's how I treat people initially, but I know a lot of people judge based on looks, and I'm always a little bit worried about that. I mean, personally, as long as people are legal, I feel that age gaps aren't that big a deal, especially in this time period where it's hard enough to meet people, let alone meet people who accept you. Because she knew me before I transitioned. We met 3 years ago. And when she met, she was a fan of the show. We met at YomaCon, and she came up to us, and I'm like, oh, hey, let's, here's my Twitter. Let's start talking on Twitter, because she was a fan of the show. I thought she was really nice and really, like, cute-looking nerd girl, so I'm just like, okay, let's chat a little bit. And, a couple of years later, we started to flirt with each other for quite a while, and I inevitably asked her out. But, like, that wasn't the first thing on my mind, and it just, to me, like, she knew me before I transitioned. She knew that I used to be male, and she didn't care about it, and that, to me, says a lot. So, I mean, if you can be that accepting, that's the biggest thing for me. I honestly don't care that she looks very young. She's accepting of who I am, and that is what I need.
Your Majesty! Time's up!
But yeah, that's a thing. So I'm glad I had a very good night because of that.
In other news, while I was typing before, it looks like Noah searched for body pillows.
Well, oh god, I'm so happy. Like
Are you sure we can't commission a Ari and Zen matching, body pillows?
As long as they're not erotic, I wouldn't mind it. I feel like she might be a little bit embarrassed by.
Why would you need that when they have each other?
Yeah. I mean, it is long distance. She lives in Detroit, so that's a little bit of a hike. So body pillows do help. But I have been. My hormones have been in high gear this month. I have been like just wanting to cuddle something. And dear God, body pillows would help. Also, I need to get myself some girly ass sheets because my sheets are way too plain looking, and I'm just like, yeah, I need to update all of this. All of this has got to be updated.
You need a queer eye for a straight guy, your kind of thing.
Well, I need a house first. I need a this old house version, but like for me. I don't know. I really wish it was easier to get a house because I want out of this apartment so bad. The rent is so high for not enough room. It's hard to clean it because Chiaki makes a mess of everything all the time. And it's just like, I just want my own place, especially because it'd be easier for me and Ari to live together if I had a place set up. But the price points of some of these houses are just way too much.
Oh look, trust me, the housing market. Look, the housing market is not gonna be not kind to the future generations, unfortunately.
The economy is not kind to our generation, unfortunately.
It's not kind to me right now.
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm a 30-year-old back in school, still living at home? I mean, goddamn.
I had to get out of my house though because that's part of the reason why my transition was stalled. My dad didn't want me to grow my hair long, so like anything that I would do that would have helped me transition, like I wouldn't have been able to do. It honestly makes me wonder if I had started to do things like if I grew my hair long and dyed my hair and like did everything that I wanted to as a kid, would I have known sooner that I was trans? And I feel like I kind of would. But I got out of that house as quickly as I could because it was toxic to me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I am still grinding away. We've been at this for 2 hours. Wow.
Well, things.
I'm gonna keep on going because I'm only gonna grind a little bit more and then I will continue onward. But welcome to RPGs, folks. We have a heavy grind, especially in this game. I'm sorry, what? You're cutting out, dude. Ah, God. What? Dude, you're... Nick.
Mr. Roboto, please.
It's
what the hell happened?
It keeps happening. You need to
Need to fend off the Robo-apocalypse.
I don't know why it happens sometimes. Like, there's probably some really bad interference. Like, the receiver for my headset is right next to me. Not legit, but it's right there. I'm looking at it. It's less than a meter away, so it shouldn't be like this.
Have you tried other headsets?
Yeah, well, no more wireless headsets. I've only got this one. I don't like using wired headsets.
I mean, I have mine. I have a very long cord, and granted, yeah, wired headsets have issues, but when you're streaming, I think wireless has a chance of interfering with your connection.
I think it actually has to do with my USB, because I'm also getting weird interference with my wireless mouse. So something doesn't respond properly when I have it on the wood, so above my desk. So I actually have to move it down right on top of my computer tower.
Wait, you have wood? Like, dude, keep it in your pants.
Desk wood, you idiots.
I'm not an idiot. We've established what I am, and you know this.
Get it, you're gay. I'm not an idiot, I'm gay.
I'm sorry, I can't get up. I'm gay.
Out of the way, I'm gay. Move it, I'm gay.
That's my excuse for everything. I am gay.
Move it, I'm gay.
Okay, Roboto.
Is your refrigerator running? Why? Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? You're gay.
Anyway, Mr. Roboto, look into it.
Yeah. You will all be assimilated. Resistance is useless.
A simulated, so we turned into a simulator. I mean, that would be interesting. I'll give it that.
Hold on.
All
How
right.
about now?
You're doing good so far.
So what? We gonna wrap up soon?
I'm gonna try to fight Vexen shortly, and then we'll wrap it up. Because I at least want to beat him. I was hoping that the stream would either A, go on longer, or there'd be more people around, but everyone's, like, not here.
Yeah, it's a very quiet day. What's going on?
I do not know. And then Rosen went to John Page's stream, I'm pretty sure. I know
Rosen bailed on us again.
Yeah, Rosen does that. He comes for a little bit of the stream, and then he just leaves, and I've kind of come to expect that, and it's whatever. He just drops in, drops out, and I'm a little bit upset with the way he runs his own streams, but they're his streams. So, but then again, there's also the fact that there wasn't a lot of people in Discord when I woke up, and I don't know what's going on. So, I mean, maybe everyone's just doing stuff today.
I think everyone's just burnt out from the week before with Thanksgiving and such. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. I was hoping for at least a good group, but I mean there is Spider Booty tomorrow at least.
Like, I don't know if it's just in general, but I've just been exhausted. I've had no desire to do anything. Like, I've got an assignment that's due tonight. I'm already halfway done. I'm like, oh, I don't anything. Just let me sleep.
Let's see, one sec.
Because it's unfortunately not my finest work, but it's something I just pretty much had to do.
Like, as for me, I'm tired, and I do have stuff that I want to catch up on. Like, I definitely need to like catch up with Bloom Into You and some other people's videos, and I just want to relax. It's been a long week for me. But But normally, like, there's a good crowd around for streams before I do that. I don't know. It's been a weird week for a lot of people.
It could be what you're playing, you know.
I set it to Kingdom Hearts 1.5-2.5, which gets more traction than Chain of Memories.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I know a lot of people don't like, in general, don't like Kingdom Hearts, or they're doing Kingdom Hearts and something else. I don't know.
Maybe that's one of the downfalls of a schedule. Only people showing up for specific days. You know, the days they want to show up. They're just, you know, coming in to have, you know, spending time. Like, what are they doing today? Oh, they're playing Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. Tomorrow's Spyberry. We'll do it then. Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's an unfortunate thing, but you kind of need to have a schedule, because like I have to have a certain amount of hours each week to keep for partner. Like, I am way above what the necessary. Like, I think you need 25 hours a month, and you need 12 days. I'm way above that. But like that's with a schedule, and that's with having continuous games that I play. Granted, not everybody's gonna like all the games that I play. I understand that. But it seems like Chain of Memories obviously is not doing the best, but I need the footage. And Ys isn't doing the best, but that's for Twilight. People love Spider Booty. People are usually here for Kingdom Hearts, even if they aren't like big into it.
People are usually here for Jax as well. That gets really popular.
Spider Booty and Jackbox are the big draws, and I mean I have fun with Spider Booty, but
what Pokemon?
But Pokemon does well too. Pokemon I've had fun with, but it's hard to maintain that schedule. As we saw this week when I got really tired out because of all the doctor's appointments and all the name change bullshit. But I don't know, like, I don't want this to turn into a chore, because to be honest, YouTube is... I'm starting to get really burnt out on everything YouTube. Like, I don't...
Oh, yeah.
The way they do the algorithm, like, none of my videos are getting any traction. Nothing's worth... Like, it's not fun to do anymore. I at least have fun doing these streams because I do see that people watch them in the archives, even if they're not here to see it. And so...
I'm wanting to start more streaming next year. I'm thinking about rolling back unbox episodes in general. No more, you know, just in general review, like special. I want to do more what the F's happens head-to-heads. But I'm not going to do a lot of reviews of stuff. I'd rather just stream them with friends.
Oh, Hero, thank you so much for the 5 bits. How's it going, Hero?
Fine.
How's everything going on your end? We had a very long talk today. It's been a day.
It's going all right.
Yeah, we just had a very long talk about how long this week has been for a lot of people, and how quiet it was because there was nobody here for like the first 2 hours of the stream.
I'm sure Nick talked enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man.
Yeah, it's just been a quiet night. I think a lot of people were either out at other streams or busy with stuff, and you know, we didn't do anything. We've been grinding for the last 2 hours.
That's honestly kind of how these streams go in a night.
Yeah, well, welcome to Chain of Memories.
It's not as bad as it is with Sora Story.
It really isn't. I'm trying to get enough darkness points to fight Vexen, and I'm pretty sure I'm at the proper level right now, so...
Fight! Give me power!
We have to use the power of darkness.
I take it you're
Alright, Vexen, It's time for you to stop being so
Vexing.
Get the Vexen. I am the Vexenator.
You vexed me for the last time. Ow.
Ow.
And okay, it's time to duel. Yeah.
Screw the rules, I have darkness.
Screw the rules. I have.
Screw the money. I have. Screw the money. I have rules.
Wait,
Screw
let me
the
try
rules.
that.
Let's be honest here. Screw the rules. I have money is pretty much the basis of the entire American system.
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, just look at who's in the White House right now.
Oh God. Good God.
Yeah,
Oof.
Well, for all intents and purposes, yes.
It just a bit.
And I want can the news network stop, showing the same footage of George H.W. Bush over and over again. Okay, yeah, we know he died. Morning. Ugh. Are you surprised that seriously, why are people acting surprised that a 94-year-old person passed away?
Wait, a 94-year-old person passed away? That's shocking.
Also, apparently Riku learned Force Palm.
Yes, I have learned the Force.
Oh God, I'm just so drained lately. All I want to do is just play Overwatch and sleep nowadays.
It has been, like I said, a week, and a lot of things happened.
Oh, speaking of video games, there was this speculation that Skyward Sword would be coming
And
to Switch.
beat him, yes.
Would anyone actually be interested in playing Skyward Sword on Switch?
I haven't played the original. I heard it wasn't very good.
I think. Okay, the
Some people
story
would
was.
say it is. The whole
Go ahead.
is the motion. The whole point is the Wiimote, because that's your sword. You can't really replicate that with even with the Joy-Con.
I think when it comes to Skyward Sword, it wasn't. Skyward Sword was made more for the Motion Plus. Motion Plus was. Skyward Sword was made to justify Motion Plus. Back in the day. Now, there were some issues, I will admit, with the gameplay, but as an actual game, the characters, the design, the story, I really liked it. I really liked the character development that Zelda and Link had. It was really fucking adorable.
All right, I beat Vexen finally.
But I'd be intrigued to see how the controls could be improved using Joy-Cons, this way. The best thing about the Joy-Cons is that it's not, hindered like the Wiimote was. Like, if I want to make a legit controller game using Joy-Cons, I can, because it has the buttons, it has the layout for a proper game. But I'd be intrigued to see how they actually could make the one-to-one sword controls better this time around, because there was a major issue with the sensors, with the way things were done with the Motion Plus. It wasn't. The technology wasn't ready yet.
I don't know. I think people are too concerned with motion controls these days. I don't want any. I don't want any of that crap.
Oh no. Yeah. Well,
It's starting to die down.
Yeah. Well, unless you're in VR, I mean, that's all the way. It's all the rage.
I'm not big into VR. Like I think VR is good to an extent. Like
VR is a good concept. I just don't see it becoming mainstream. It's like curved TVs and
you have to have money to invest in it. But even if you do have the money to invest in it, you really have to have it's only for the right people. Like, for me, my glasses are a hindrance, but even still, I don't want to be staring at a screen for that long a period of time, especially because I have to be 100% invested in anything that I'm doing there. Like, for example, I like to multitask.
People have been trying for years to reach the point of VR that, to the extent that it's like in sci-fi, where it feels like you're really there. But we still haven't quite made it there yet.
I feel like we won't for quite a while, at least not not so long as people have like need devices for it. Like, I feel like there needs to be some sort of like holodeck type thing where we can project it, because otherwise it feels, it's not just underwhelming to me, it feels like a hindrance to I could play a normal game the way I normally do, and yeah, it's not as enhanced an experience, but I can still have fun with it, and I can still enjoy myself rather than strap like this goggles to my face for God knows how long, and the goggles end up doing nothing.
At least it's not as bad as the virtual.
The virtual boy. Yeah.
I've never played a virtual boy, to be honest.
Trust.
It never came to Australia.
Because it's
shit.
so hard it was discontinued before the link cable could even come out.
It got discontinued before the European release could happen.
Your Majesty, come on!
You know, I once heard a Let's Player explain the international releases of games. Japan gets something awesome. America gets it a month later. Europe's lucky to get it all. Australia is lucky if they remember they exist.
That used to be the situation, yes. It used to be, especially with Nintendo games. Like, for some reason, Kirby games were delayed months. Like, but nowadays, in fact, it's actually games are getting released by Dateline, by the Dateline. So we are actually getting them before you guys, which is insane.
That's good to hear.
That's actually pretty good. Like, I mean, granted, I do wish simultaneous release was a thing. I do understand, like, you have to translate things, but, like, there's a lot of things, like, have Tales games at the same time for launch and stuff like that. There's so many games that should be one-to-one, and they're still getting Kingdom Hearts 3 before us, so, you know.
Well, yeah, look. Yeah, it's kind of like Dragon Quest, the lines, the riots, the...
But it's like trying to avoid information for that week is the worst. I mean, back in the day when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, like, we had to wait half a year just to play it, and we didn't get the final mix version for the longest time.
That will not pass these days. Like, it barely was able to pass back in those days, the months of localization. Like, nowadays, localization has to be done at the same time as development, which I think is actually a good thing, because that way
you catch a lot of stuff. Because remember, like, the localization back in the day.
Yeah, because back during the Wii, it was terrible, because the delays of Smash Brothers Brawl and Mario Kart Wii was like months here in Australia. People were actually just legit hacking their Wiis. Mod ship sales skyrocketed when Smash and Mario Kart Wii got delayed here in Australia. And I don't blame them.
And nowadays, somebody just dumps the entire Ultimate ROM online before
yeah,
release.
Yeah.
So,
Isn't Smash Ultimate been leaked online already?
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently people have already leaked it.
Yeah.
Which just, it's a real situation of this is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have nice things. All Fallout 76.
Yeah, Fallout 76 has its own problems.
I'm surprised.
Many.
You know how Bethesda's offering like this $5 worth of in-game stuff for the nylon bag? Yeah, I can tell you right now, that's not gonna fly here in Australia. You know the whole, you know how Australia was basically responsible for the Steam refunds because our consumer group basically sued Valve.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was basically how it started. The ACCC, the Australian Consumer Competition Watchdog Board thing, basically said, yeah, look, you guys need to offer consumers a way to get a refund. And we're not talking we're not talking in-game tokens, we're not talking credits, we're talking real cash. Because I can guarantee you, someone's going to complain to the ACCC, they're going to sue Bethesda saying, nah, look, either you give them what they wanted, or you refund actual money. No in-game currency, you give them actual cash.
That's pretty amazing, and I thought us Americans were the kings of let me speak to your manager.
At least they're using it for good purpose.
Australia made a show 5 years ago called The Checkout, which pretty much just told everybody, no, here are your consumer rights. You don't need a receipt when asking for a refund. You don't need the original packaging. You just need proof of purchase. Basically saying, here are your rights. This is how you demand a refund, and this is how the airline companies are screwing you. I mean, how bad are the airline? I mean, I know about the beatings and everything, but when it comes to price gouging of the low-fare airlines, how bad is it in the States?
It's not too bad. I mean, granted, like, there are some things where paying extra comfort is a little bit of, you need to spend extra money. But I haven't had too much problems personally. Granted, I have to say, and a lot of people have issues with Delta, but I do have an extremely positive experience with them, and I will continue to support them for one simple reason. When I started to transition and when I called them up, like, a lot of places gave me problems with, like, okay, I gotta put this, like, gender marker, blah 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 blah, and they didn't want to hear it. Well, Delta, first of all, you can, in their app, you can set your preferred gender and preferred name from the get-go. After one phone call to them, to which they just needed me to update one specific document that I uploaded directly to them, they legally changed my name on Delta immediately. No hassle. They walked me through the entire process. So, say what you will about their practices, they helped me out big time. So, I mean, granted, yeah, so they will price gouge you for checked luggage and all this other stuff. But they still made an awesome experience for me, so I'm a little bit biased.
That's good. I'm not sure why your gender should count if you're booking a flight.
Because you can get misgendered a lot. Like, if you're, honestly, it's very hard, because if you have if you have a name that sounds masculine, or a voice that sounds masculine, and they don't look at your gender marker, it's very easy to get misgendered.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about it from that angle. I was just thinking, if you pay for your ticket, it shouldn't matter what junk you're sitting in your seat.
And thank you for the bits, Hero.
It keeps giving me just fine.
That sucks. I mean, I would like to have the Gay Bits moniker play, but hey, we unlocked 100 bits that earlier today, so that marker was shown. I have a Tiny Tina saying, "Make it rain."
So then, when are we going to start using your new layout? When are we going to start using the new?
I haven't had any free time to update it. Like, the free time that I've had today, I was assigning special roles to people to people, and then no one was around to help me with it. So I'm just like, okay, let me stream. Like, I have had no free time, and if I do, I'm gonna take things one step at a time. I think the next thing I wanted to do was soundboard, but you didn't respond to me when I was talking about
Yeah,
it.
sorry, I was out at that time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I was
So like,
and of course, tomorrow I'm not going to be around. I'm going to be in class and stuff.
and that's what I'm saying. It's just like, okay, I don't have a lot of free time to update stuff, especially in the holidays. And then, in order to set that up, I would need to update a few other things that are on my list of things to do. And don't get me wrong, I really do appreciate that you have that new layout ready for me. But I have a few things that I really want to update first.
Yeah, I'm also working on my own stream layouts. I've got some nice ones now. So when we do Nintendo Direct reactions now, my big ugly mug isn't the main focus point anymore. Oh, I'm looking at my preview right now. My God, I've got my father's neck. That's for sure. Jesus. I need to get rid of the second chin.
I got I got very lucky in the gene pool. I have a very feminine face when I shave, which, you know, I wish I didn't have as much facial hair so I could get rid of it all sooner. But you know, it's a little bit easier for me because I know some people have very masculine features and it's harder for them.
Yeah, I need to start looking at my weight more. He says as he finished off with a tube of Pringles, like legit, like seriously. It's just chicken salt Pringles were really fucking good.
Most Pringles are, honestly.
Yeah,
But
they're
but
so
you eat
good.
the whole tube in like a couple of minutes.
Do you guys have those Lindt truffles, those Lindt balls in the States?
Lindor truffle?
Yes, we do, and they're delicious.
Well, I don't know if you guys got, but I know we got and Asia got it. Matcha, green tea flavor.
You mean
No,
matcha? Matcha.
Well, not,
Yeah, matcha.
Not that I...
Hello?
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 I'm here.
We lost you for a second.
Green tea. Well, matcha's green tea, isn't
No,
it?
matcha. Say it with me, matcha.
Oh, matcha. That's green tea, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, green tea with a white outer shell. Oh, that's so good.
I like
So
matcha.
good.
I like mochi. I mean, a little bit biased because it's my favorite devil fruit power now.
And they've made some new Christmas ones, including candy cane and gingerbread, and they're really good.
I just love Lindor in general because they're white
yeah.
chocolate and they're just so good at chocolate, and so I have to buy it when I can. But I don't want to have too much at once. Oh, there everybody is.
Yeah.
We finally have people on the stream now.
Yeah, they also make a really nice white lemon one. Oh, there's actually a Lindt cafe in Sydney. Like they've got like huge trays full of all the flavors, and you can watch chocolate being made.
Mmm, that sounds delicious. Chocolate.
It does.
Chocolate.
I mean, you guys have some Cadbury, but you guys haven't got real Cadbury.
Yeah, because they're not based in America.
Like, some Hershey bars get imported down here, like the regular band, like the regular and the cookies and cream. I will say cookies and cream is a very nice bar. I don't get your regular chocolate. I don't get
Yeah, I mean, I don't really get Dove either. Like Dove isn't.
Dove's okay.
It's it's very standard, but like think of it like Symphony and Buono, like Italian chocolate, or like Lindor, so much better and smoother.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of Goulian?
No.
They're chocolates. They're made to they have a marble design. They're made to look like seashells, and they're really pretty.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna make me hungry for chocolate.
But I think the big difference between your chocolate and, say, Europe and Australia chocolate is that you guys put a lot more emphasis on sugar than milk.
Which, like, sugar is okay, but, like, the richness of the chocolate does not mean it tastes better.
Yeah, I've had those Cadbury Dairy Milk bars before, or at least what gets released here, and the equivalent of it. That is some of the richest chocolate I've ever.
Yeah, I think that episode of The Simpsons where they went to the UK, like Lisa and Bart trying UK chocolate for the first time and then going nuts. Yeah, look, your chocolate's a lot more bitter compared to Europe and Australia, and even ours is probably not as rich as the UK's, but still, I would have. I mean, there was a time here in Australia where Cadbury cream eggs were available all year round.
My favorite bars are the Aero bars, or like aerated chocolate, and it's something you can't just get in the States. But like that, between that and like crunchy bars, they're so good, and there's no way to get them in the States.
We have crunchy. We also have another one called Father Crumble, which is another honeycomb chocolate bar. It's really nice. But we also, alongside Cadbury cream eggs, we have Oreo cream eggs. So it's just a Cadbury egg filled with Oreo filling. They are so fucking good.
That sounds delicious.
If I ever went to Australia in around Easter, I would.
Look, if you came to Australia, we'd do a video where you're trying a whole bunch of Australian junk food, like Australian chips, Australian biscuits, Australian chocolates. I wouldn't expect much from the cereal aisle.
That sounds delicious. I would.
You go to our cereal aisle. It's just basically just wheat and bran and maybe a few Fruit Loops. That's it.
I unfortunately can't have cereal anymore because of Chiaki. She will not let me have cereal and milk because she hovers over the bowl and tries to eat it while I'm eating. I have to guard my bowl, or I have to like lock her out of the room, and it's not worth it unless I lock her out of the room or something.
Oh, that is terrible.
But it's just like I don't get it because I don't feed her milk. But like she just
shouldn't even be drinking milk.
Yeah, but like if she gets a whiff of milk, she hovers and she won't get out of the way. and she keeps coming back, and I'm just like, no. But I don't even get it. I don't get it because it's not like I indulge her. I don't like feed her it or anything, but she just hovers over it until she gets her way, and I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
Cats, man.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I don't have the selection clearly, but I can never get into those truffles. Honestly, if you just get me like a bag of Hershey's chocolate drops, I'll be happy. Because it's big.
Like, what I don't get. I mean, what's so good about the Crunch Bar? What's so good about that?
I used to like it, but I'm not a big fan anymore.
It's just basic chocolate with rice bubbles. That's not something that should be a massive, hit.
I'm not sure. I like it, but like my favorite is Symphony. Like that I can get in the States. Like Symphony and Lindor are my top. I'm not a big fan of the bite-sized candies though. Like the like you said, the drops and whatnot. They're too small. I prefer a nice big bar of chocolate. As I clutch my anime body pillow, and you know how I do.
Also, speaking of The Simpsons, we don't have that cafe here, but we do have something close to it where I live. Really a good donut shop called I shit you not, Hurts Donuts. Like that. Yes, their slogan actually is "One Hurts Donut." So, but their selection more than makes up for it. They've got a ton of different options there.
We have
much every donut you can think of. They've got.
We have this place called Voodoo Donuts in the States that is really, really good, but like they have donuts that are out there.
Yeah. Today I actually got one called a Slim Shady, which is a white frosted donut with M&Ms.
Well, holy
nice.
shit! For the first time ever, the McRib is coming down to Australia. We've never had the McRib before. And it's like, coming down here. Huh. Why don't you try one? You guys treat the McRib like it's some kind of second coming of Jesus. It was on your news and everything. Like, seriously.
I've never even tried the McRib, so I don't even know.
It was discontinued before I could ever try
Like
it.
it keeps coming back for like a limited time only. It's like cream eggs and that kind of stuff.
Like, our Cadbury cream eggs suck anyway. Or no, our Kinder eggs suck too. But like,
You guys can't even wait. I thought you guys couldn't get Kinder eggs.
we have a new variation that sucks.
We have a substitute, which is basic half chocolate with the other half being because the kids couldn't figure out that there's a toy inside the chocolate. Apparently.
Yeah, so we get less chocolate and the toys suck. That we get an inferior product.
Well, there used to be a Cadbury variation called Yowie down here. Yeah. They had little figurines of Australian animals. We used to get them all the time. They were the big things on school before Pokemon cards.
It's not spelled like the yellow you're thinking of, Zen, but yeah, that's the association that I made.
Gay.
My stepdad actually used to be part of a team that sold those in stores. So every time they were talking the Yowie, I was stifling a giggle.
Yeah, Yowie, it's kind of like Bunyip. It's another name for like Bunyip, that kind of thing. Like some kind of Australian abominable snowman or something, or Yeti.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were a big deal back in the day, yeah.
That's hilarious to me. Again, I
run together and share some
You've got to understand Australian slang. In Australia also, Starbucks is basically non-existent. I'm serious. There's like only probably like a dozen or so Starbucks in the entire country.
I'm not too big a fan of Starbucks. Like, I like some of their frappuccinos, but it's highly overpriced. And it's not worth it.
Because not even they would dare to venture into Australia.
There are a lot of other coffee chains in this country. Like, I mean, in America, you don't have something called a flat white, do you?
A what?
No.
A flat white.
No.
Type of coffee.
We have
in Australia.
Wow. No.
It's kind of like I think it's kind of like a latte without foam or something like that. I don't know, but yeah. In Australia, the most successful chain of coffee is, no joke, McCafe.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, because here's the thing, McCafe actually started in Australia.
Huh.
Yeah, it started in Melbourne. Yeah.
I've heard foreign McDonald's are actually much better than American McDonald's anyway.
Look, the thing is, because your country doesn't really grow anything anymore besides corn, yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, most of the stuff that we make is a lot more locally produced. I mean, I used to work at a meat factory, Meatworks here.
Giggity.
Actually provided the meat. Look, I can tell you right now, if I was an investor, if I had money and I had an investor, I would open up a restaurant in California called The Real Outback and actually use real Australian beef, have real Aussie beer on tap. I'd make a real steakhouse because, my God, I see the Outback Steakhouse. That needs to get the Outback name removed because it is an insult to my country.
You know what I just want? I haven't been to like a good like rib restaurant in a long time. I just want like a good prime rib steak, like 18 ounces. I've been craving that lately.
Oh, and a nice glass of
going down to a restaurant.
What's that?
Whenever you get down to Anime Fest, we're definitely going to a restaurant.
Oh, I'm planning this year. It's definitely got to be this year.
A nice medium rare steak with chips and maybe a nice. Oh no, actually no, a baked potato. Oh, a baked potato. Ooh, with butter and sour cream. And
As,
a nice
as
glass of
long as
wine.
it's not an American baked potato, because they're always so goddamn dry. I'm sorry.
Starchy. Yeah, they're so starchy. Look, yeah, look. What is it in your country? Too starchy, too fatty, too salty, too sugary? What the? Ugh.
We make up for bad cooking with bulk and all this other stuff. But the thing is, I've never loved baked potatoes. My parents are all about baked potatoes, but I never liked baked potatoes simply because I always found them so goddamn dry and not enough substance. But I've had it prepared by a really good restaurant, and that's when I'm just like, okay, I understand the appeal with that, but you really have to get them prepared the proper way.
Like here down under, you could go. You don't even have to go to a major restaurant. You can go get something called a counter meal at your local pub, and get a nice piece of steak and some chips, and maybe a nice piece of fish, a nice burger. I mean,
everything's fast food here.
Yeah, but food here is treated a bit more carefully. Like you go down to the local bakery and get a nice meat pie or some sausage rolls.
You know what? Like I'm planning on going to Wendy's tonight, but that's because like Wendy's is probably one of the better fast food joints, and they stay open until 3 a.m. That's another thing that kind of sucks. Most places don't stay open 24 hours.
Hey, tell me. How good is Jack in the Box? Is that any good? I keep seeing their commercials, and I love their commercials.
We don't have them in Rhode Island.
They're okay.
I mean, I hear they sell like tacos for like 99, 2 tacos for 99 cents. Like they're obviously catering to the stoner crowd with that.
Again, like
that and their tacos are basically meat wrapped in a soggy tortilla.
Yeah.
Isn't that what all basic tacos are?
It depends on the preparation.
Not if you cook them right.
But like the it depends because like I've been to Taco Bell, and Taco Bell's okay, but there's this place I've been meaning to try called Zambrero, which I hear is pretty good.
Yeah, look, we have them down here. They're basically the Subway of Mexican food. They basically will prepare your burrito, your tacos, your other meal right in front of you. You get to pick exactly what you want. What kind of cheese, what kind of sauce, what kind of meat you wanted. Oh, they're really good.
Every time I go there, they're closed though.
Here in America, we just call that Mo's.
The best part is there's actually a Zambrero opening up right near my favorite drinking spots. So I go out, have a few drinks, just stack around. Then I go at 10 o'clock at night for a burrito. Come on, that's like heaven.
I like for me, I want to try them out, but every single time I go there, they're either not open yet, or I'm just like, oh well, I'm craving something else. But I keep passing by, and I want to try it out. You know what I had the other day? A Sonic recently just opened up nearby. We haven't had a Sonic around here at all, so that was interesting for me because I've never really had it before. I tried their hot dog, and it's really, really good, but it was messy as all hell because the foot-long hot dog.
I was gonna say, did you get a chili dog?
Oh, I've had their chili tease dogs before, and they're really delicious. I had the American dog, which isn't as good.
I had a chili hot dog from them when I went in Florida last time, and it was horrible. It was congealed. It was barely warm. It was horrible. Ugh.
I think it depends on where you go.
I do love the chili cheese tots, though.
I need to go back. I don't know how late they're open. I'll have to check once we finish this stream. Essentially, what I want to do this stream is at least finish Agrabah, which we're pretty close to finishing now. Alright, I actually am going the wrong way, so I need to turn around and go the opposite way.
Oh, okay.
To kill some...
Hero, Alistair Black and Zelina Vega got married.
Who?
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry. No, what, we don't have wrestling fans here?
No.
I'm
not a big wrestling fan.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Better tell us when Rosen gets here.
If
Yeah, I
he
was
can,
gonna
if he
say,
gets
you
here.
want
If he shows up again.
Yeah, he says he's gonna come back. If he does, he'll probably be like near the end, like the tail end of his stream.
Like 5 minutes.
But yeah, like I'm gonna have to see because Sonic is really good. Sombrero I need to try. There's a few like new things that I've been meaning to try. I just haven't had the money because most of my money has gone into making sure I get rent on time and making sure that I pay my bills. Because unfortunately, with my added doctor's appointments, bills have been going up a little bit more than I would like.
Also, I just want to, if you want good Mexican food while you're in, don't try Chipotle.
Yeah, no, Chipotle is not good. People get sick there, and they need Chipotle.
Chipotle is very middle-class white people make Mexican food. It's kind of awful.
It's all right if you have trouble. I've been having a lot of trouble with spicy food, and that's somewhere I really like to go to because it's not as intensive or as spicy as regular Mexican food can be.
Yeah, like, I mean, with Taco Bell, you do run that gamut, because I love their quesarito, but, like, half of the quesarito has really spicy sauce. So it's one of those things where, like, if you can't handle spicy, and I get that, I'm actually getting better at handling spicy, but I used to not be good. If you can't handle spicy, there are some places that do really, really well with that.
You know that company that makes the sriracha sauce with the green cap? Like the official sriracha stuff.
No.
They've made a new sriracha mayo, which I think might be a nice little thing. Much more milder.
I mean,
better than
sriracha seems to be in everything nowadays.
people stand by sriracha. I prefer aioli myself. I like sauces that are cooler, like mayo, but not like commercial mayo, because I found people who make their, like, there's a sandwich shop I go to, it's called the Grateful Bread. They make the best sandwiches ever, and they have their own mayo that they make in store, and it is delicious. And it's like, it doesn't taste commercialized at all. It's like, it's so light, and it makes the sandwiches taste so much better. So, like, that's the type of thing that I look forward to, is when it's less commercialized for that sort of thing.
And it'll still be better than mayo.
Alright, it's time to fight Jafar.
Jafar!
The strange thing about this mode is that it's pretty much a boss rush mode. He doesn't have any stories, but he just goes in and fights the bosses. Jafar's actually a harder boss because your cards are more restricted in this version, and you don't have easy access to healing items. So, I mean, I honestly find it a little bit more of a chore to face Jafar in this version. But then the Parasite Cage is so much easier in Riku's campaign. Which, fuck the Parasite Cage in any version, but... Was anyone seriously asking for the Parasite Cage to make a return? Did anybody actually like that boss?
Take this.
I could say the same. I could say the same thing about, was anyone asking for a world based on Cinderella?
I mean, I was, but then again, I like Cinderella.
Look, I like the movie. It just doesn't strike me as a good world to make action set pieces up.
Yeah, I mean, then again, Cinderella 3 had some really good action set pieces.
But in Birth by Sleep, they didn't reference that.
Yeah.
That was my first thought, too, but still.
Like, well, they did have the pumpkin, like, stagecoach.
The stagecoach boss was actually pretty inspired, honestly. But...
Again, I haven't played Birth by Sleep yet. That's next on my to-do list. But
I will tell you that there was originally meant to be a world based on the Jungle Book, but it's not in there.
Aw. That sounds like it would be really cool.
You can find it by hacking, but the story is obviously not there.
Understandable. Come on, stupid platforms.
Under the sea.
So fun fact, I started. I got to the part in Kingdom Hearts 2 where you get to Atlantica. I really love it. It's stupid and goofy, but it's a Disney sing-along in a video game. It's fun.
But Haley Joel Osment can't sing.
Yeah, neither can Donald Duck, but it's still fun singing.
Donald is trying. He just has the wrong voice for it.
Ariel's like the original singing voice, and I think the cutscenes and stuff that they do are really good. Yeah, Paige O'Leary.
O'Hara, but still.
Like they do a fantastic job with her parts.
Wait, no, it's not Paige O'Hara. That's Belle. That's a different person.
But yeah, like I think she does a fantastic job. I have fun with it. Yeah, it's silly. Yeah, it's stupid parts, but I don't know. I like it. I feel like it gets a bad rap, but you know that's most things these days.
That stupid Finny Fun song, though, can go drown in the deepest parts of the
Wasn't that
ocean.
the only original song that they put in?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bad start, honestly.
Well, no, there was also Swim This Way, Well, Dance and Way.
That's the same song.
Yeah, it is. It's been a while since I played Kingdom Hearts 2.
It's been a while. But yeah, like I got through that, and
Since
that was.
I played shitty DD.
So I beat Jafar. I'm just gonna get to the next floor, and I think I'll call it there.
Yeah, you say it's a bit harder, but you have no trouble with him whatsoever.
Because, well, I did grind a lot of levels. When I fought, like, because the levels are randomized, you can choose which ones you want. I used to choose Jafar. I used to choose Agrabah as one of the earlier worlds, and I think it's harder as a result.
Right. So, and I noticed when you were doing all that grinding, Riku's a bit of a show-off, isn't he? Because when he does the dodge roll, I noticed that his default animation is him doing a flip at the end when he stands up.
He does a kip up for his dodge roll, and it takes longer, it's clunkier, it's fun, but it's so weird. Like, look at this. Like, who does this? Who does
Hi, Kiba!
I find it funny, but at the same time, like, I would like it a lot more if it served a more practical purpose. It's actually a worse dodge roll, and that kind of sucks because, like, I actually like the look of it, but it's so much slower.
It's kind of funny because when you opened the door, it reminded me of this joke that I first heard about when Chain of Memories was first coming out. Like, you use a card to open the door, and it's just a picture of Sora credit carding the lock.
Another thing that's kind of silly about his Riku scheme is that his jump is so much floatier. He lasts in the air like 10 seconds more than Sora, and it's like it's not any better. It's not a better jump whatsoever. It's a slightly longer jump, which actually it's like that's his attacks in a nutshell. It's not better, just a little bit longer.
He's held aloft by the power of the gay.
Man, I
Hey,
totally
guys,
should have made it.
I gotta duck out. I gotta duck out for now. So this
All right,
is fun.
see ya.
So listen, we'll talk to you all later.
All right,
See ya.
later.
I
Now let's talk about him behind his back.
Like we always do.
Oh God, that boy ain't right, and that Australian folk.
Oh yeah, I saw the barrel spider enemies earlier. Is that new to Chain of Memories?
No, that was in the first game.
They're
As
just
you recall, Zen having tough time with them in the Coliseum.
Thank you very much for the bits.
The whole 5 bits.
The bits. No, the thing with the barrel spiders is that they're random. Only certain worlds get them, and only certain barrels have them. It's like there's a certain random chance for certain enemies to appear, and it's not just the barrel spiders. There's the white mushroom and the black mushroom, and like when you're hunting for cards. Yeah, these 3 are a pain in the ass because it's a random chance just to find them in the world, and a random chance that they drop the card. And you can't increase the chances like you can with everything else. And even if you do increase the chances of some of these cards, it doesn't make a difference because the increased chance is only like 0.1% of an increase.
Oh, and that also... Yeah. And that also reminds me of another Kingdom Hearts comic that I once saw of Sora was fighting Axel, and he's like, now's the time I use my special deck. And he pulls out a Pokemon card. Go Squirtle!
Nice.
Like, there's... The thing is, even if the Chain of Memories, like, card game portion of the game functioned well, it makes no sense in the world of the game. It's like one of those things you just kind of have to wave it away as that's Castle Oblivion. It's making them think they're playing card games.
Castle Oblivion. I don't have to explain shit.
Alright, I have finally made it to the top of the floor. Let's watch this cutscene. Oh, there is no cutscene. Yeah, a lot of Riku's campaign is like, you go to the next floor, there's nothing. So you have to wait. Okay, now there is something. Hi, Zexion. Hi, Lexius.
Naminé's powers are being used to shuffle.
They're
And
the ones knows.
at this point, Naminé is starting to take Sora's memories and work with them. So you can kind of tell that, like, at this point in the castle, Sora is like around like the midway point, kind of like maybe like floor like 3 or 4, kind of the same as this. And then Vexen got the data from the battle, so he's making the Riku replica.
Oh god. And this is kind of a spoiler.
Isn't it better that Vexen clean up the mess than leave
358 Days Over 2. The name slipped my mind, but you can go on missions as other organization members in the and you unlock special weapons for it. And one of Zexion's special weapons, because he uses books, is a weapon, and it's just called Diary. So of course the fans immediately latched onto that being a secret porn stash.
Here's the thing. Like, I like Zexion as a fight. I think his fight is really, really well done. But him having a book as a weapon is just so lame when on paper. On paper, it's just really lame.
Also, I forget which one, but there are a lot of joke weapons for the characters, and one of them is a banana, and it actually peels when you use the limit break.
Oh, nice.
Which, of course, led to the obvious, I am a banana!
Alright, well, we have been streaming for 3 hours. In that 3 hours, we got 1 floor done.
Wow.
And that's because Vexen's a dick. Like, we had to grind for 2 hours just to get our darkness points to a decent level, because without darkness points and your darkness slights, you can't, like, it's just not worth going against him, because him as a boss at that stage in time, it's just like, you don't have good cards, so you just have to use your darkness meter. So, alright, I think this is a good place to stop it here. We're slowly getting up there. This is the shorter campaign. It should, in theory, only take 10 hours. But then again, we are on Proud mode, so that might take a little bit longer. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. I know today was a little bit of a quiet night, but we're slowly getting done with Chain of Memories. We're getting close to done with Rebirth. I'm going to go out, I'm going to get some food, I'm going to watch some more Bloom Into You, because I am all about that gay shit right now. I need to watch the new Zombieland Saga, I have a bunch of people's videos to catch up with, I need to archive all the streams, and I need to continue playing more Kingdom Hearts 2 in my own time. You know, the good game. The good game. But for those of you watching on either YouTube or Twitch, thank you very much for your support, and I will see you tomorrow, normal time for Spider Booty. I apologize for the lack of Jackbox and East this week. I was dealing with a lot of stuff, as you saw at the beginning of this stream. But again, thank you for coming. Have a good one, guys, and take care.
Hey, this is Megami33. Thank you for watching Zenith Will Review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome videos. If you like what you see, check out the Patreon page at patreon.com/ZenithWillReview.